All right, everyone, welcome and thank you for joining us for the Digi Tamer Series Championships. My name is Joshua with Battlecore. I am coming to you live from Gamers Heaven, and I have Andrew from Replay Works online with me. He's going to be one of our guest commentators for today. Andrew, you want to say hello?
Hey everyone, Josh, thanks for having me here.
All right, so again, this is the beginning of the Digi Tamer Series Championships. We have a lot of exciting games that are going to be happening today. So I want to thank all of you who are at home for joining us. I want to thank all of the players for giving up your time this weekend and for the past, 13 weekends in order to be a part of this with us. So again, we appreciate your time, we appreciate your effort, and we look forward to some exciting games today. So today, let's kind of recap for a moment to everyone watching on the stream in case you're joining for the first time. The Digitamer Series is a 13-week event. It started with an 8-week qualifier in which you had the opportunity to earn an invite into the playoffs. Once you obtained your invite into the playoffs played like a traditional seasonal type of event where players were playing matches each weekend, accumulating wins and losses, accumulating points based on those wins and losses, and then at the end of a 4-week period, the players with the highest standing are now competing today in the championship for all of the prizes that we've gathered over the course of this season. Some of those prizes are going to include a trophy for first place. It's going to include a trophy for second place. All top four will be receiving mats. We did have a custom mat designed, which I will showcase for you momentarily for this event. And they are competing for that mat as well as packs of the Great Legends booster, which is coming out. I believe, Andrew, correct me if I'm wrong, it's been pushed back until June 11th.
Yes, that's correct. It's been delayed.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. So that set is coming out later. We initially planned that as a prize back when we thought that it was going to be coming out sooner rather than later. But we are still going to own up to that promise, and we will still be giving the players in the Digitame series packs of that boosters. All of those prizes, if you would like to see, are listed in the comments down below, or rather in the description of the video below. So you are able to just click on the description, show more, and you can view those prizes for yourself. Um, so again, those are some of the things we have going on for the prizes today for these players. Again, Andrew's going to be my guest commentator. I'm going to take a moment and make myself look really silly on this camera, and I'm going to show you the mat design that we have for these players. So the players will be competing for a copy of this mat. So we did have a custom mat designed for the Digitamer Series finals. If you were in the qualifiers, we had a mat designed that showed the Agumon Digi Evolution chain and the Galvamon Digi Evolution chain. Players who came in the top three did want a copy of that mat. The players who are participating today will be receiving a copy of this mat. This mat is only available to the players who have qualified in the championships. We will not be putting it up in any of our stores or any of our retro sales or anything like that. It's a custom one-of-a-kind mat for those four players. You'll notice in the bottom right corner of this mat, it says achievement unlocked. So that's a thing that we've been doing with our mats, the mats that we designed for HG Gaming's event. We started putting this achievement unlocked in the bottom right corner with the name of the event that you topped in for the mat that we designed and also your placement. So this mat will be changing for each player because they're going to get a different achievement based on what place they come in today. You'll notice there is a little yellow bar going around the achievement unlock icon because again it's that Xbox type of icon. That gold bar will be shifting based on what placement that they come in. So the one that you see right now is specifically for the champion, and then obviously the little yellow circle will move around the achievement icon based on the placement of the player who receives the mat. So again, this is one of the prizes that they're going to be competing for today. And so I don't believe there's anything left to be said. Andrew, unless you want to say something to the players before we transition. Players are undergoing deck checks right now. So the first game is going to be uh, Ryan Hurt, who's a local of Philadelphia, versus John Ramon. They are going to be playing in the first round. So Ryan was the number one seeded player, going 4-0, and John is going to be his opponent. His opponent, he came in fourth place at 3-1. So that's going to be the first game of the day. It should be starting shortly. Again, players are going through deck checks right now. But we just want to thank you again for giving us your time, for coming and joining us on the stream. Me and Andrew are going to start commentating, and I hope that you guys have a great time. All right, so Andrew, what do you think about this first game? I know that Ryan is a close buddy of yours, and so
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen him. I know him obviously from the Vanguard community. We really haven't gotten to play Digimon that much, except for in one of the Digi Tamer Series qualifiers,
hmm
which he destroyed me in one, and I got my revenge and beat him in a different one. So I believe we're 1-1 right now. He's a very strong player, and I know you have close ties to him. So what do you think about your boy playing in the finals in the championship
Oh,
today?
well, loaded question there, Josh. Well, first of all, uh, I believe Ryan will be repping my Replay Works mat. So he is how do I put this? He is one of my boys to enter and potentially win this tournament. But Ryan is a player. He's been playing since Japanese meta, even before this game came out in English. Playing at TTS with Orange Swim and Digimon Card Dev.
Right, right,
So
right,
he's had a lot of practice, a lot of reps. We've seen him play Shine going up through the qualifiers and also going into final season.
right,
Um,
right,
I think that's his bread and butter, if you will. If I had to place
right.
money, I bet you he's playing that today.
Look, and the interesting thing about that is like Ryan just as a player, and I know you said his bread and butter is Shine. I wish that I had the capabilities to show you guys watching the stream the Shine Greymon meme. Andrew, I don't know if you saw it when they remixed the Dragon Ball Z fight between Gohan and Broly to have Shine
Yeah.
Greymon, and Broly was supposed to be every other player. Um, and it's I thought it was funny at first, but it's true. Like you know, Shine Greymon really does gain steam with the more tamers that it has, and so that meme was actually hilarious. So if you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. It's a great video. But back on Ryan, Ryan's actually a really versatile player. I think he's played like three. He participated in a lot of the qualifiers leading up to this moment, and he's
Yes.
played several different decks, like going all the way through this. I think he played Blue Omni when he played me. I believe he
Yep.
may have played Red Omni at one point. Like he's been cycling through decks. He's a very versatile player. So um, I know that we allow the players to edit their decks coming into the championships today, so I'm really excited to see what types of changes he makes to that yellow build. And then on the other side of that, there's John, who, if I'm not mistaken, is actually a frequent of Gyro Sean's channel. I believe
Mm-hmm.
his name is Docile Charizard. He is a very strong player as well. I've seen him participate in some of the Gyro Sean mat tournaments. I've kind of watched him play in some of the HG Games events, and so he's playing a very strong player. I haven't really seen decks that he's played outside of this blue build. Um, so I would like to see what it is that he brings to the table. Ryan's been stomping everyone in this event so far. I mean, I think he dropped one game, not a match, but one individual game throughout the. And I'll get corrected if I'm wrong because we have these title cards that are going to play. That's going to show the players' records. So I'll get corrected probably in a moment. But he's completely like won matchups that I didn't even believe he was going to be able to win. And I've seen John playing in some other events. He got paired up against Mustang in one of the HG Gaming events. So this is a really good matchup for the first game of the day. I believe it's probably going to be some sort of Shine Greymon variant versus maybe like a Blue Imperial Dramon.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, blue. We've seen a lot of Imperial Dramon come out of the woodwork for this final season. Mainly, I want to believe it's partly due to the fact that we have a sideboard allowed.
Right.
That allows blue to have so many flex spots, and blue Imperial I would say is a very good template. Since if you're very lean on your sideboard, you can side in between Rookie Rush, or sorry, Blue Green Rush, and Imperial. So it's honestly one of the best colors to pick for this tournament.
All right. Well, um, it should be a good matchup. Both of these guys are Digi-destined, so they did come in first in their respective tournaments. And I'm being told by the head judge that they're ready to throw down. So Andrew, me and you are gonna go hop over in course stream one. We're gonna mute the players, and we're gonna get right into this. I'm looking forward to some exciting games today.
I'm excited too, Josh.
I'm just like la da da
Yeah.
da.
We're gonna start. We're gonna start it now. Actually, let's make them wait for.
Well,
throw down.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, give us one moment. We're gonna go ahead and get you guys set up on stream so that the audience is able to watch you guys. No pressure though, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, zero.
Zero
Absolutely not.
pressure. Zero pressure. Um, so I'm really looking forward to you guys' games today. And so please show me, show our fans, show our viewers, show Andrew, show us some good matches.
Oh, dang.
Uh, yeah, but no pressure. But still no pressure.
Yeah, but take it easy. Yeah.
Man, you know how much more pressure that puts on you? God.
Look, so we are all set up. So again, we have Ryan Hurt on our right versus John Ramon on our left. They're going to start their games shortly. The judge is going to get them ready, get them deck checked, get everything they need to get going. To the players, John and Ryan, you are free to go ahead and mute me and Andrew,
Eh?
so that we can go ahead and do our commentating. We're going to mute you guys in turn, and I wish you the best of luck today. Thank you for joining us.
Eh?
So Blaichi, where's Andrew?
Andrew is
SD card.
scared boy.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, Andrew,
Player,
like we were saying, I'm pretty excited about this.
I
I'm pretty
am the
excited
head
about this
judge.
game.
My name is John, also known as Megalonica
Yeah,
Lou
yeah.
here. I will be judging your
It's gonna
game
be a
today.
rough one. I feel gonna be
Let's make
how
sure we keep it
fast
all fair and clean.
Blue can rush versus how
But
fast Shy can set up. I think that's what's gonna come down to.
So of course, we probably assume that Docile is playing the blue Imperial build. Um, but out of all the blue builds that are currently out, which one do you think has like the best matchup against Shine, and how would you kind of go against it coming into this game?
Honestly, I would say Blue Green Rush. That can only work for game one, since so this would be pre sideboard. If I start with Blue Green Rush, I can go immediately full aggro.
Right. Well, let's see what he decides to do. It looks like he's taken, a very common route. He's digivolved up into the Gabumon. He's digivolved into the Greymon, putting the yellow player to one.
Mhm.
So, um, Ryan really is going to get his foot in the ground if he can get a tamer on board as soon as possible.
Yeah, but also setting up that Unimon that he has in the back, it's gonna keep the aggro in check for a little while. That means he can't really swing with too many weenies. And looks like we're playing a memory choke game right at the start.
They are playing a memory choke game, but like the funny thing about that is, and I'll say funny, but I mean more interesting. I don't think we have
Mm-hmm.
the blue Imperial Ultramon variant because he's dropped that Mushroom Mon, which is going to be
Yes.
revealing the blue green build that you were mentioning a moment ago.
Yes, yeah. So it is looking like he's starting with Rookie Rush, Blue Green Rush, and Ryan's gonna be playing a Lotmon, setting himself to 4 security, but getting an extra card from that and another card draw. So he's trying to build up a little bit more advantage right there.
So I think that normally in a situation like this, I would assume that Docile Charizard has the advantage, but Ryan does have that blocker out there, so one of these attacks are going to get mitigated. Um, and it's going to have to get mitigated, right? Because Ryan has negged himself one security by playing that Lotmon. And so,
Yes.
you know, Docile, if he chose to, is in a very advantageous situation because Ryan's only just now getting that Kari down. So he can swing and just melt 3 security right now before Ryan really has the opportunity to set up any more of those kids.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. Putting Ryan down to 1 security may or may not be the best choice, depending on what gets revealed in security. For example, if we see a TK pop out of nowhere, that's a prime candidate for Rise and Shine play.
So I won't lie, Andrew. I'm getting a little nervous for Ryan right now. Docile is quickly establishing a board. Um, And I think in maybe like another Digimon or two, he's gonna take control of this first game. Ryan really needs to set anything up right now. I don't. I'll be frank with you, Andrew. I'm not entirely sure what he could set up right now outside of blockers to stabilize himself because the longer he plays this memory deny game, the
Mhm.
longer John is getting to set that board up, and his board is set up. So if Ryan does not have another blocker this turn, John's going to be swinging for lethal, and we've just started the game for the day.
Yeah, it's looking pretty grim. Let's see what John has to play on his end, since he did hatch the Upa but didn't instant Evo. Probably he's deciding what to Evo into. Um,
Well, so I will say this though. Ryan managed to get this. I believe I'm bad with these big Terriermon clones, air quote names. But I believe that one is Silentmon, the one that swings in and dies and gives you memory security. So he should
yeah,
be able to kind
yeah,
of remedy some of the damage he's about to take.
yes.
Um,
And it looks like John swung with the Mushroomon into an Ankylomon, killing the Mushroomon, and also letting Ryan get a free champion on board.
yeah, that champion is going to be important because let's see what he gets in the security. That is the ultimate, I believe, that
Akuomon.
says you can't swing. That's the perfect counter to Rookie Rush. Actually, says you can't swing if you don't have any sources.
Yeah, and so now John's left with 2 attackers on board. Ryan's at 1 security with the Unimon, but we will see XVmon coming for another swing on the Gorilla. That is going to kill the Gorilla.
That
And that's the
couldn't have
game.
gone
Yeah.
any better for John right now. Um, I
Very
think that
fast game 1.
it's like that when you play against a blue green rush build. Unfortunately, that's a part of the way that matchup goes. It's really unfortunate. I'm trying to think. I don't think Ryan necessarily did anything wrong in that game. His opponent just got off to a blazing fast start.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
that
it's not much you could do right there.
I'm wondering if Ryan sideboards, what exactly can he sideboard into for this matchup? That is going to be John taking game one. Um, we should be figuring out momentarily if Ryan's going to choose a sideboard, but I don't think he necessarily played anything wrong.
Right.
So John is electing to go into his sideboard. So that's going to be a little telling. I've seen players in this series choose to completely sideboard a separate deck in order to mess with their opponent's mentality. So John played a very strong game just now. I don't know what it is that he's opting to do going into his sideboard, um, but I think the important thing here is going to be seeing how Ryan responds to that. Um, so, but like I said, we didn't really get to see much of the game this match.
Yeah.
John kind of set up the early aggression and was very aggressive with that aggression. So Ryan didn't reveal too much of his build so far, which is, technically a little beneficial for him because his opponent still is not entirely sure what he's going to be going up against. Um, and again, I'm not entirely sure what Ryan could have done differently because the game ended so fast. Typically I'd say, okay, maybe he need to get kids out faster, but he was putting kids down. His opponent was just stabilizing extremely quickly.
Yeah. I think what Ryan needed was a pretty good draw into a Lightning Paw to stave off a few attacks that turn or the turn before. I think that's really what it comes down to: how fast Shine can get removal against this kind of deck.
All right, well, it's not over yet. So
Mm-hmm.
Ryan still has his game to go into. He can go into his sideboard. I've seen players, not necessarily in like the Rush rookie matchup, but
Uh-huh.
more so in other matchups like those sideboard things like Cherubimon in order to be able to stabilize the security. Because if you can keep replenishing that security faster than the opposing player can take it down, then they're not wasting attacks, but they're kind of losing their Digimon crashing into your security, which Yellow does a very good job of generating when they want to. Um, so yeah, we'll see what happens here. But very very fast game one. Kudos to John for taking that game the way that he did.
Yeah. If I had to speculate, I'd say what Ryan needs to do is definitely tech in some removal, something to slow the game down. Maybe up on Shakuo, but then John does have the option of potentially siding into an Imperial Dramon deck. And that's really hit or miss because you don't really know if that's going to happen or not. So depending on what
Right.
Ryan sides in, it might just be useless at the end.
So I will say this: I think that Shine Greymon is a pretty stable deck. Fairly against most matchups, except for matchups that basically out tempo it, like this one. So
Mm-hmm.
if John switches into a Blue Imperial Ultramon build, that probably actually puts Ryan at a more advantageous position.
Yes.
because the blue Imperial Ultramon deck has to build up is going to cost you a total of potentially 6 memory or 5 memory to get up to your ultimate level because you're going to have to Digivolve into the champion. You're going to have to burn 3 on the Pyodramon, and then you have to go into the Imperial Ultramon. So you lose a little bit of that memory denying aspect of the build, and then by you having to build up, you're giving Ryan time to set up those children in the back. So I think a
Yeah.
side into Blue Imperial Ultramon puts Ryan in a better position. I don't know if I would do that, especially since I won the first game, right? So
Hmm.
if I'm John, I'm feeling extremely confident going into game two. Um, I may not have sideboarded. I actually may have potentially wrote that out one more time and kind of judged what Ryan's response to me would have been. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
so um, I love, people have commented on this series and said they like the idea of sideboards. Others have commented and said they disagree with the sideboarding. I like what sideboarding brings to the table, especially what it's doing for us right now as commentators when, there are layers now to what can happen. And I feel like it makes it more interesting to watch because now this is the mental battle of it, right? The
Yes.
fighting part is the fighting part of it, but this part is more of a mental game. You're trying to mess with your opponent's head, you're trying to make sure you have the appropriate response. If you overthink it, then you might go too far and end up, negativing yourself. So I personally enjoy sideboards. I don't know if I want them to be a mainstay of the game, but I definitely think that I kind of wish Digimon did have a process for having a side deck. So
Yeah. Yeah. I would say that having a side deck does allow a lot of uh, competitive additions to the game. For right now, knowing that our card pool is, I would say, relatively small compared to other games with a sideboard, I think it's really not that necessary. But I think as the game grows, eventually it might be on the table. I think that's what happened with Dragon Ball Super in that lifespan, where it originally it didn't have a sideboard, then it just grew into a sideboard. Same thing for Buddy Fight as well. That had a couple of sets to come out, and then they said, okay, well you can have a sideboard now.
right, and it's interesting that Digimon doesn't have a sideboard to me because Bandai kind of pushes Digimon as a best of three game, and most
Yeah.
games that are best of three have some sort of sideboard. Our looks like our players are getting started. Ryan has elected not to sideboard, so I don't know
Mm.
if he has the same mentality as myself, which is I didn't really showcase that much this game. I didn't necessarily play anything wrong. I feel like my deck is adequately equipped to deal with this. And again, he's a very good player, so he might just be confident in, the deck that he built and being able to respond to whatever John brings to the table right now. So for me, I'm really curious as to what John did because again, he won the first game. So what could
Hmm.
he
Hmm.
possibly have done to his deck?
Yeah, like how can this game be different from the previous? That's what's going to be on our mind right now,
Well,
especially knowing that Ryan did not sideboard. That is very, very, very big.
that's telling. That is very telling.
Yeah.
And Docile spent a moment in his side deck, so you know the question is now, did he change? And I was going to make a comment, but he just completely slammed it down. So we are still seeing the blue green mix from him. So I'm curious to see what he changed about it. But
Yeah.
Ryan right now seems to be in a little bit of a better position. He's already gotten up into Teruimon. His opponent gave him some memory. He managed to get the Rise Greymon down, which is going to allow him to play one of the kids from his hand. So this is
Nice.
looking a little bit
Nice.
better as far as the start of the game for him.
Hmm.
And it looks like actually Docile might have sideboarded some rookies that have a little bit more power. Um,
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Looks that way.
I'm looking at this rookie, this blue rookie with 5,000 DP. So even if
Hmm.
Ryan goes into Shine Greymon right now, um, he's not going to be able to delete either of those. They're going to
Correct.
have to
Yeah.
crash into security.
Yeah. He's only going to be able to kill off probably that Gomon right there. Um, definitely a very fast move for Ryan. He's going to try to set up two tamers right now against four attackers. It's very big. Opting to get Andre Woolman for recovery in case worst case scenario happens. I
So I
think
guess
it's gonna. I think. Mm.
no, go ahead.
I think it's gonna be another fast game if Ryan does not have the shine right now. or is choosing to wait to shine?
Well, you know what? His opponent opted to play the Davis, so he's foregoing his offense this turn in order to stabilize. So this actually
Yes.
gives Ryan a great opportunity to, remove some of those rookies that are going to deal him damage before they have the opportunity to do that. So that can save him some security. And then we both, we saw him add the Agumon from his security stack, which
Yeah.
is going to allow some recovery after he takes that damage. So knowing his opponent's going to 3, I probably Digivolve into an ultimate here or a champion,
Nice.
and then slam
Champion.
down WarGreymon to put Shine to put him to 3.
No,
No.
he got the
Yes.
Agumon.
Okay. So
That's
that
a
is
very
crucial.
big swing into Ryan's
Yes.
favor now.
Yes.
Locking
so,
out 3 of John's 4 attackers.
This is also going to buy him that time in order to stabilize his, his tamers in the back.
Yes.
I think against John's build right now, he probably really wants Akari, because knowing that he didn't delete my
Mhm.
Digimon, I'm probably
Mhm.
I'm probably swinging with as much as possible right now before they start dying.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's exactly what's happening right now, Josh.
and there's the
But there's Akari, as you just mentioned. She's late to join the party, but she's on time.
She's late to join the party, but she's on time. You know what? I'm getting a little nervous now because no, Docile does not have lethal right now because
No,
I was
he's just
thinking
gonna sit there and chill.
right. I was thinking that he could potentially swing with the rookie and then
Mhm.
drop another XVmon, but he's gonna pass turn if he does that, so that's no longer an option for him.
Yes.
I think that Ryan has 3 kids. I think if his opponent chooses to forego aggression, Ryan really,
Yep.
I think his best course of action is to drop a Shine Greymon right now, eat the XVmon, eat the Gomamon, kind of, mitigate some of this damage. Um, I
Yeah,
don't.
and especially since Ryan does have a Patamon in the back. Oh, sorry, a Patamon underneath that Rise Greymon column. He will get back a memory, and he can actually swing for 2 damage with Shine if he wants to. But it's interesting. He's choosing to
He's
set
going
up
for
a
the
blocker
blocker.
instead. Okay, yep. Because the only thing that can contest the blocker right now in John's field is that Gorillamon.
So, but the thing is, Docile now has
Mhm.
6 attackers though. Oh, but you know what? The green can't swing at all. So technically,
Right, so he
this
really
is
has
still
5.
not lethal, right?
Yeah. But that fire cannon. I think that's going to end it. Actually, that's uh, unless Ryan can come up with an Eden's javelin out of nowhere. These are all just gonna go shred through security.
They are shredding. Wow.
Yeah.
So you know what? Maybe even though we were talking about the Rise Greymon, the Shine Greymon, maybe he actually just didn't have it and he was fishing for it.
Oof. Yeah. That
That's
was
that's gonna be the game. Wow.
that is the game. That's crazy.
John, kudos to you. Congratulations for winning game 1. I know you can't hear us because we're talking to the stream, but that is gonna be John taking game 1 2-0, which is not what I expected, considering that Ryan has such a, of course, John had a strong showing as well, and I know of him. I know he's a very strong player, but that was an extremely strong showing from him, and I know a part of that is kind of what Blue Green does. And Ryan maybe not having the Shine Greymon as quickly as we would have liked to see him have that
Hmm.
Shine Greymon. But yeah. How do you feel about that game? I'm actually still collecting my thoughts.
Oof.
Consider.
Well, first things first, we did not actually see a lot of Blue Green Rush going through the final season
Right.
up to this point. I think everyone's assuming that it's not that good because you can just decide on whatever you want. But at the same time, it's like, well, it's still good because if your opponent doesn't side into it or doesn't bring the side deck or
Right.
doesn't assume anyone's going to play it, then you're free to run rampant. I think that's what we saw right there with
Right.
John's build, where he
Well, you know what? I
just
think.
doubled down.
Well, Ryan did get the Shikuyamon, so he had a little bit of a setup. I think maybe he just didn't have the Shine Greymon. I don't know if of course Shikuyamon is also a very strong play. That you are able to do that you are able to try to slow down their aggression. But um, John had all of the Digi Evolution options that game, so the Shikuyamon Ryan wasn't really getting that much value out of it this game. Um,
Yes.
so um, that being said, I think that maybe he did not have the Shine Greymon. I personally, I said this during that game, but I personally feel like the Shine Greymon may, would have to me would have been the better play to just eliminate half of the board and then force John to take more turns trying to rebuild it. But
Mhm.
I have to assume that he didn't have it based on the way the game went. And he did, one of the TKs he didn't get value for, but he did get value out of the second TK, and he chose the
Yes.
Angelomon. So then it's like, okay, the Shine wasn't in the security stack, because most Shine players take their Shine Greymons out of the stack before they go to trash. So
Yes.
I think that maybe Ryan just didn't have the pieces he was looking for in order to do what he wanted to do that game. And so,
Yeah.
and we saw what happened.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, John kind of just stabilized and then kept going. And sometimes Digimon's like that. It's unfortunate, but
Mm-hmm.
this is how the blue green matchup goes against. And he didn't. You're right. He didn't play a lot of green cards. It was basically just the one Patamon clone and Flower Cannon.
Yeah. And Arcannon. Yep. Yep.
So going into this next game, we're gonna have Chris Sock, who I know from the Vanguard community, going up against David Graham, who is actually a personal friend of mine. Um, Chris is a friend of mine too, but obviously Dave and I grew up together. So
Right.
this should be an interesting game to see because at one point during the series, I actually thought Dave was going 4-0 with the way that he was playing against all of those Shine Greymon decks. Like he opened his first two games against double Shine Greymon and just 2-0'd both of them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so when he lost that game against Chris Sock, actually,
Mm-hmm.
um, that I'm happy to see him make it into the finals. I hope that this, for his sake, that this is not a repetition of their week 3 matchup. He does get the opportunity to redeem himself on the big stage.
Yes. Yes. And I know Chris from the Vanguard community as well. He's a local New York player. Um, definitely another one of the top contenders for today. I believe he came second seed going into today.
Yes, yes. This is
Okay.
second seed versus
Yep.
third seed. Yep.
Nice. So I
So
think this game's gonna be really good. I know Chris was piloting Blue Imperial up through the final season.
yes,
Um, but again, we saw a lot of Blue Imperial come out of the woodwork, and I think that was telling that it's definitely one of the top decks. Um, I'm not too sure what Chris is playing today. Maybe we'll just see more Rookie Rush or Blue Green Rush, whatever.
more blue green rush. Right.
Yeah.
Um, well, I know from watching Dave's games because I did watch some of his games. 'Cause again, he's a buddy of mine, so I did watch some of his games. I did watch some of Chris's games. I watched some of Ryan's games. Anyone who I was familiar with, I basically watched some of their games.
Right.
So Dave should still be piloting his green build. Against the Chris Sock game, which was 2 weeks ago. It was a I was gonna say Agumon, but I'm trying to think of the name of the ultimate Sarismon. Um,
Yes.
it was a Sarismon. You know, Digi Absorption build.
Hmm.
That deck is surprisingly strong, despite getting hit with the ban. He did come into this tournament post restriction in order to account for the fact that that ban was happening. So, he
Yep.
does only have one copy of the Argomon, one copy of the Hidden Potential Unlimited. Um, for this matchup, um, I'm not, I'm not entirely sure how Dave wins this matchup. Because I played against Blue Imperial Digimon game 1 of the playoffs, and even
Hmm.
resting their Digimon is not extremely helpful because they just drop the Imperial Digimon and they restand their jamming unit. So if you were counting on that guy not standing with the Mega Gargomon, that's negated. So, um, what do you think Dave's win condition is in this matchup, and what do you think Chris's win condition is in this matchup? Because it feels like, from
Yeah.
my perspective, anything that Dave can do to try to hinder Chris, Blue Imperial Ultimate has a response for it. As far as we're restanding ourselves, we're getting multiple swings, so we can push out aggression
Hmm.
faster than you can rust us. Dave still has to set up with the Sarismon in order to get value out of the Digi Absorption on his opponent to limit the board. So, I bring this question to you one more time. What are the win
Yeah.
conditions for these players for this matchup?
All right. Let's start from the green side. Right. So green side, Green Saris. I know firsthand that Green Saris can definitely go into Saris as early as turn. I want to say turn 2. They can do turn 2 if they draw the nuts. The question then becomes, as they have Sarismon, knowing that the only removal card in Imperial Dramon is Omnimon, can Sarismon tempt any Imperial Dramon to come in and then Digisorption it, tap it, and swing into it and kill it right at the spot? That's going to be what Sarismon needs to do to clinch it. Aside from that, Imperial just needs to do its thing and just keep going at face and trying to set up another Imperial Dramon just so it can go for the triple or double attack. I think that's what's going to make, like, whoever can set up fast and first is going to determine the tempo of this game.
I think green sets up faster than blue because let's say green goes first, right? He digivolves into any rookie, and then you just play a rookie on board, like let's say a Goblimon. On your next turn, you digivolve up an Agumon for free because you rest your Goblimon. You don't really care if your opponent swings into it because it's Goblimon.
Yep.
And
yep.
then
and then you could set up another 2-cost rookie, or you could just digivolve into your ultimate pass turn from there.
Right. And then the other side of that, right,
turn,
is if you swing into my Goblimon, you're sacrificing whatever that unit is to my Goblimon. I have more units on board than you because I went first, potentially, unless you hard played. So I'm just going to swing into your rested unit and set you back again, and you're not going to be able to respond to it. So I think green sets up faster than blue in this specific matchup. But we know that Blue Imperial Mon is a very strong deck. I don't know if Chris is playing the XV Mons, so I could be completely wrong about this. He may be able to set up, swing into the rookie, digivolve into XV Mon, and completely save his monster. So
yes,
there's a lot of variables in this matchup, but you're probably right. I'll take your side on this one. It'll probably be just like the previous game. Whoever can one player set up faster than the other. And I feel like Digimon at 1.5 is a lot of that. Like, I set up faster than you, so I win. Except for Shine Greymon. Like, even if you set up before Shine Greymon, if you don't kill them outright, the comeback potential is there. Always. Because it takes one Digi Evolution to melt your entire board. So,
yeah.
I'm excited about this matchup. I'm not entirely sure who to root for. Again, both of these guys are friends of mine. So it's kind of hard to root for one of them. For the other game, I could say Andrew. I know you're rooting for your boy Ryan because he got the replay works mat and everything. But
yeah,
and like Docile Charizard, I know of him. Like, we're not friends, but we do talk from every now and then. He's a really cool guy. But obviously, when it's one of your buddies versus a stranger, you always root for your buddy. So for game one, I could say, Andrew, you're clearly rooting for Ryan because he's your guy. But like, in this game, I'm cool with both of these guys. So I got to come into this and try to be, as impartial as possible.
Well, I'm sorry, Josh. I have the New York bias. I will be rooting for Chris Sock for this one. How do I put this? Us New Yorkers got to stick together. That's the code. That's how it goes.
Well, look, if that's the case, I guess I'm in Graham's corner. So.
Yep.
So
I'll root for old Vongula days.
It's
where
still
we
the
had
Vongula
Philly
days,
versus
right?
New York. That's all it is now.
Look, I'm not. I won't lie. Okay, so let's catch the stream up to speed real quick because a lot of people who are watching aren't going to know about that rivalry. And
we still have time as players doing their deck check, right, Josh?
Right, we do still have time. So Graham has completed his deck check, and Chris Sock went into his deck check 2 minutes ago, so he still has 3 minutes of deck check time. There's like a 5-minute limit for that. But yeah, so we'll try to bring you guys up to speed really quickly. So I know Andrew personally because I met him a long time ago when he was hosting a circuit called the Vongula Circuit. New York had a team called Vongula Sky, I believe was the name of your team. And
we're just Vongula.
Okay, because I know I went to a tournament where another team was walking around with like Team Vongula Sky, like SKYE. And so there was like a lot of Vongula teams at the time. Everyone was really high on Hitman Reborn. But Andrew's squad had a Team Vongula in New York that we didn't know about, and we had a Team Vongula in Philadelphia that they didn't know about, and we found their tournament on the internet and was like, hey, we should show up to their tournament because why not? It's a 2v2 tournament. And so me and my buddy Tom showed up to that event and ended up playing against some of the Team Vongula guys, and ever since we've kind of had like this little soft rivalry. between the two Von Golas guys. I will say I stopped keeping track at one point. Um, the only thing I keep track of nowadays is like my personal record against you since we do our annual game,
Yes.
which will
Yes.
probably be done online this year because of the virus. So we actually could potentially make we can make a dual stream out of that actually if you wanted to.
Yeah, no, I think that's 100% the way to go. I for one am excited to play you this for our yearly match.
Yo, what's up? What's up?
All right, players are here.
Yo, what's going
Still
on?
suck.
Yeah,
All
players
right,
are
so
here.
who do I gotta mute? I have to mute a
So
couple
you
people,
are
right?
going to be
Yeah,
muting
you gotta
the-
be a stock.
Yep, you're going to be muting Scared SD Card
Everybody?
Boy and me. You'll leave the judge unmuted and you'll leave your opponent unmuted.
Okay.
All right, cool beans, man. All right, so again, back to the, I wish I could say what's up to him, but I don't, I'm not gonna have a personal conversation on stream, so we'll just they'll say what's up to us through their cards.
Yes.
So both players are getting ready, so we're gonna go ahead and transition to the versus screen for you guys on stream. And we'll let that up, and then we'll get both of their names in, and then they'll be ready to throw down. Judge is gonna get them started, and we've kind of given you our intake on this game, so the only thing left is to kind of see what they do.
Yeah. It's like, all right, now we know who's gonna be one part of the finals bracket. Now let's try to find out what the second part's gonna be like.
I will say this, and I'm not just saying this because you took Team New York and I took Team Philadelphia. I think and of course, again, anything can happen. I have no clue what's on Chris Sock's sideboard. He has had a week to update his deck, but just based on what I saw leading up to this moment, Green probably has the better matchup going into a Rookie Rush type build because Green, as you know, has cheap costs as well, so he'll be able to match John Ramon's aggression going into that game if he makes it there.
Yep. 100%.
So, Dave, I know you can't hear me. I wish you luck. Chris Sock, I wish you luck. And we'll see what happens. They're doing their dice rolls now, and Dave has a really sick mat. I will say that. Like, it's very simple, right? But it still looks nice. So,
Yes.
I may have to question him where he got that.
Josh, I just want to double check. You can see Dave's
Yes,
camera, right?
I can see Dave's
Still
camera. Correct.
loading.
It's still loading for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop out, pop in.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, we're good.
You can see it now.
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
And you're right on time for them to flip first Digi Tamer. So that's going to be Chris
Awesome.
Sock taking the first turn, Digivolving Upamon, and looks like Digivolving into a Gabumon.
Nice, very good early play, and sets up a Mushroomon.
Ooh, he's opening with the
Nice.
green mix. Doesn't necessarily spell victory because again, the green can rush just as quickly with all of those cheap evolution costs, and unlike Ryan, I think Dave will be more able to limit Chris's plays if he doesn't get the Tamer because all of their champions and ultimates like 1-2 drops. So Dave at will can always leave Chris at 1, limiting how many of those rookies he's able to get on board per turn.
Yes, yeah. Because I think right now on Green's end, the best play would be to Digivolve into a 1-cost champion, so like Kabuterimon or Vegemon, and then drop down another 2, and then pass turn from there. That means you'll have guy in the back that's a champion, guy in the front that's ready to get Digizorb next turn.
Right. It looks like that's what he's setting up now. I will say this: he does play the 4 copies of the Digi Absorb champion. That being said, he is set up right now to go ahead and get those free evolutions off if he so chose. But it looks like he's just going to elect to leave his opponent at 1 and try to restrict how many of those rookies he can slam down.
Yep, and he sets up the Gargomon in the front, keeping that Argo in the back safe. It looks like Chris will start going super aggressive with that Mushroomon.
Look, and he got value out of this Mushroomon because it has survived.
Yeah. And he'll pass the turn at 1. So like, in order to kill that Mushroomon, we've got to Digivolve up to Ultimate, since that Gargomon is going to be tying 4-4.
That is true. But unfortunately though, Digivolve up to Ultimate means passing the turn. Unless he has a
Or
one cost. Ooh,
Digi-Absorption.
or Digi Absorption.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Into Blossom. Yep.
And we just had this conversation. We know what deck he's playing.
Yeah.
Yep,
Gonna go ahead and heal that Monstermon.
That definitely was the most optimal play in that position. I wouldn't have let that stick around either.
No. And I think what we want to see is
The Ceres. Do we want to? Oh, he's
Yeah,
willingly.
he's going hard cast Ceres past turn. Nice ton, Chris. All right, deal with Ceresmon. Because otherwise, I'm just gonna start machine gunning down these rookies.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. I don't think he's gonna be able to machine gun them fast enough. Because like assuming, of course, we play this kind of mental game where we're like, okay, I'm gonna give you all of this memory. What can you do with it?
Yeah.
It is possible Chris has no response to this, but
yeah,
with this much memory, he could digivolve Upamon into a rookie, slam down 3 rookies on table, and just be like, next turn is game. Thanks for giving me all this memory.
Yep, and being able to kill off the Agumon with the Armadillomon, that's pretty huge, since that is going to leave an opportunity for XVmon to come out and unsuspend that Armadillomon, go for another damage.
Goblin
and also getting value.
Right. That's the thing, right? Is that when you don't kill them, that's when it sucks.
Yeah.
But
it looks like going full aggressive. Everyone attack this turn. swing Agumon into the Kabuterimon security, leaving no missed opportunities.
Right, and then here's the other thing, right? Again, and look, you see he's holding 2 cards, so he might actually, slam down two rookies. Dave's gonna have a hard time with this because with only the Ceresmon, even if he rests a Digimon, it's still gonna be able to stand. So
assuming he can.
Right.
Value.
Wow, value. Oh my lord.
Value
Dave,
play.
Your security is not
value
good right now.
The Armadillomon.
And there's the Gomamon to set 2. And
and that's a full threat and lethal. Dave's got 1 attacker. Chris has 3 with XVmon suspended. XVmon, it may be vulnerable, but that Gomamon and the Galmon on the back,
so
that's threatening lethal right now.
Dave can potentially mitigate this. It's only gonna buy him a single turn. But if you can still use Digi Absorption from the Digi Tamer area because it's activating from your hand and not on board. So he could potentially Digivolve that Agumon baby into a rookie, Digivolve the champion from his hand to rest the Gomamon, and then you won't be able to swing into it. But from there, if you hard cast a blocker, you see where I'm going with this. You'll have a blocker. Yeah. So you only take 1 damage, and then you'll be able to buy yourself another turn. But it is looking pretty grim.
Yeah, I mean the other potential play would be since Dave is at 2, he could just hardcast a rookie that's 2, and then just Evo into a Woodmon past turn at 2. So it does mitigate Chris's memory at that point and puts up the defense line.
I think he's stuck.
I think now he's banking on the flower cannon.
On the flower cannon
for ultimate defense, but Chris is just doesn't care. He's just gonna go straight for it.
It's the potential unlimited, so that's not going to do anything for him.
That's another quick game for Blue Green Rush yet again.
Right. Now I will say this, during the at some point, it's kind of like, okay, who was actually playing this deck versus who prepared it just for today. But I will say this about Chris Sock. I believe that has always been his sideboard. Because during the playoffs leading up to this moment, there was a moment when he sideboarded from Imperial Agumon into the Rush variant. So, but because we allow players to change their decks, or rather, their cards around, you had to play the same color. But because we allowed them to make those changes, he may have actually flipped his deck around. So it is quite possible that he didn't make any changes to his build coming into the finals, but just that he made the Rookie Rush version of the deck the primary deck.
Yes.
Because the rule for the tournament is that you start game 1 with whatever deck you submitted, and you sideboard from your sideboard. So if he sideboarded the Rookie Rush variant, he would always be starting with Imperial Agumon whether he wanted to or not. So it's possible he made no changes. He may have just flipped his deck around and said, the Rush is going to be the primary deck. I'll put the Imperial Agumon pieces in the sideboard. But that was a brutal loss for Dave having to hard drop the
Rapidmon.
Rapidmon. You know, we
Yeah.
kind of assumed that he had some sort of way to manipulate himself into a blocker, and that's not what we saw. What we saw was I'm gonna give my opponent 6 memory and just hope that I get a flower cannon.
Yeah, yeah, that was a bit of an unfortunate circumstance, I would say. But it does happen.
It does happen.
If they have all the answers and you have none of it, it's
Right. I think
not looking good.
I don't know what Graham had. I don't think he played anything wrong. You know, he went into the
Yeah,
Blossomon. He did what he was supposed to do as far as mitigating damage. I think that what would have helped him better was having if he was gonna hard play. And again, we don't know what's in his hand. But if he was gonna hard play, I think the hard Digivolve, like if you're just not gonna Digi-Absorb at all, would have been the Mega Gargamon. To force one of those, you know, rookies to stay down. And that would have probably bought him another turn because obviously just now it came down to 1 extra attack. So that could have been something for him. Now, most likely he probably didn't have it. But that was an option for him as well. If he had the Mega Gargamon, he could have forced one of the little kids to stay down. And then he could have just swung into it. I think for Dave, he's going to need to... He knows what he's fighting now, right? So I feel like he will probably have to take some pieces out. So if he has like the Boncho Stingmons, they probably need to come out because you know you're not getting any value out of them. And that will free up some space to allow him to maybe put more rookies in if he has rookies in the sideboard. But for me, if I'm green, now this is really bad, right? But green has always been a deck of cheap cost cards.
Yeah.
Depending on what's in his sideboard, he could go from playing Sarismon or Crestmon. No, Sarismon, I'm right. Crescarumon is the other one. Their names are always like, it's 1 letter between their names. But he can always just take out all of his megas, right? And then try to fill that space with some of his sideboard Digimon. And basically, rather than Digivolving up, can try to match the lower grade, the lower level aggression as well. Because then you're not bound to going up to Sarismon and giving your opponent that memory. You can kind of say, okay, you're going to rush me. I'm going to change my build from Sarismon, and I'm going to rush you back. So I don't play megas anymore. You're going to have to deal with my 1-2 cost drops. And if you don't see Davis, you know, as long as I see my stuff, I'm in the driver's seat this time. That might be my route for Dave going into this next game, because I know I'm playing Rookie Rush, or some sort of blue-green Rookie Rush variant. My champions are weak at 7, but they're still stronger than the Rookie Rush cards that you're going to bring to the table against me. So that's what I think Dave's... If I was playing green right now, that would be my, play. Andrew, I don't know what you're thinking in regards to what Graham could do. Like I said, I think he's in Ryan's situation where he didn't necessarily do anything wrong.
Yeah.
But now the question is, how do you adjust and adapt so that you can win this game and force a game 3?
Yeah. The biggest question mark is, what does green really have against Rookie Rush? Like what like
flower cannon.
Yeah, and it's
Bump
like
your flower cannons up to 4.
Yeah, but it's so very, I would say, tight, where it's like you either have to outpace them, because as you saw, even setting up the Sarismon, because Chris went full aggro starting right out the gate, Sarismon's, even though it's fast, it was not fast enough to get the field down to manageable levels, and it's because you're losing security. And I think that what we need to see is, will Dave try to rush faster? That's going to be like the game at this point. Who can get on board faster? Who can get to have more swings? And who gets more value out of their swings too? Since we saw that
Chris got
because Chris got insane value off Omnimon. Insane value.
And that actually may have changed the entire game for Graham, because he had to deal with those monsters twice with no blockers. Whereas if they had died, it'd have maybe bought him like an attack or 2.
Yes.
To answer your previous question, and I'll talk about Chris in a moment, but to answer your previous question, sideboard flower cannons for green, and if no one does this, but assuming that he can sideboard that card that I can't remember the name of it. I apologize, but it's basically like a flower cannon, but it costs more than flower cannon. So it's like a cast 3.
Yeah. Giga. It's Hercules Kabuterimon's attack. I just forget what the card name
Right.
was.
But then like Rookie Rush is going to deny you. So like, do you really have the memory to do that?
Yeah.
Green is kind of sort of known for their piercing. Maybe you put in some, not Bancho Stingmon. I can't remember his name.
No.
I see his picture in my head, man. The alternate
There's Dino
for
Beamon.
Dino Beamon,
Dino
right?
Beamon.
Maybe you sideboard. Maybe you put in Dino Beamon, so that way, if your opponent does get value out of those, you know, creatures that you could punch, you could still take it back by swinging into them with piercing. Because I feel like if you don't get damage on the board against the rush build, you lose because by the time you're ready to start dealing damage, you're already at such a disadvantage.
Yeah.
And then again, for Chris's side, he won. They both shut down their cameras, which means Chris probably elected to sideboard. And so I think Chris's sideboard time is over though, so there's no way for us to actually confirm that. Yeah, Chris is already back. So Dave is electing the sideboard. I apologize to the stream guys. I completely missed whether Chris decided to sideboard, and I'm kind of in John Ramon's situation where I don't think I would. I was in complete control of the game. I don't think I need to mess with my opponent's head. No, I'll see what he does to me, and then I'll respond to that. I'm in the driver's seat. My opponent has to figure out a way to get around me. So why change up my game plan when he just had a hard time dealing with it? So for Chris, I don't think he necessarily has to do anything different. He definitely got a lot of value. I think something that doesn't need to happen, but that can help him kind of definitely cement this game is if he sees one of those Davises. Because Green then loses the option to deny you back. And having that Davis is going to open up so many plays for you because you Digivolve Upamon, that's one rookie. You hard play for two, that's two rookies. You Digivolve for one, so now you have a rookie that can't be smited, and then you hard play a rookie to set your opponent to two, or maybe you don't Digivolve for one and you hard play, you put them to one, but you've now established three rookies on your opening turn. And if your opponent has to not give you memory, but if you have the Davis, they can't do that. So you can continue to kind of drop 2-3 rookies per turn and overwhelm your opponent. So that's really the only thing I think that can go differently for Chris. He definitely played everything that could have gone right went right for him. So
yeah, no doubt that if you're in the driver's seat, you don't want to take the gas off the pedal.
Right. Look, it reminds me of I don't know how many of you guys on the stream are football fans, but it reminds me of when Chip Kelly came to the Eagles, right? And he had like this high tempo offense where basically everything was like we're not getting off the field. We're moving, and then when the ball goes down, we're getting it back to the line as fast as possible, and we're moving again. And we're not going to give your defense time to really catch its breath. If I'm Chris, that's me right now. I'm not giving you an opportunity to breathe. You're fighting through me. But that being said, the players are back. So we can go ahead and transition, and
Very nice.
we can see the rest of this game. So, again,
nice.
I missed whether Chris sideboarded or not. So, but I know Dave did go into his sideboard. So,
Yeah.
I'm with you, Andrew. I don't know what he could possibly have in there that's gonna respond to blue-green, but whatever it is, I hope he draws it in as open as hand because otherwise, this is looking like a blue-green finals.
Yeah, and going into game two, it's definitely disadvantageous knowing that you're playing against blue green. You're like, what am I gonna do?
Right.
Really?
Right. It looks like they're deciding to cut right now. I believe that Chris is just gonna potentially pass cut. Did he pass cut? No, he's not passing cut. All right.
Half cut.
So I know a lot of players have been doing the 1/2 and 5. I had a player who believes in curses, and he was like, "I'm going to curse cut your deck by doing 1/2 and 10, because whoever you hit with 1/2 and 10, they always draw a bad hand." And I was like, "There's no way that's true." And then of course he did it to me, and I drew like straight ultimates in my opening hand. So if you believe in that sort of thing, maybe he could try to get some juju on his side, but we'll see what happens. He's just doing the normal green plays right now. Digivolves into Gabumon, hard plays Agumon.
Yep. One in the front, one in the back. Very, very good start. Then Chris was gonna hatch. He's holding 2 cards, so that's
Oh, yeah, because he can't
card money.
Digivolve, right?
yeah.
Here's the thing though, this is still a good position for Dave because he can Digivolve the Agumon or the Goblymon into its companion by resting, and then swing into.
Yep.
Oh, right, he can't swing into it because he needs Ceresmon. Oh,
Yes,
right,
yes.
right.
Yes. But he can go straight into if he really wanted to, he can go straight into Sarismon this turn. If he wanted to.
He could. I don't think I would though. I think I would follow your original plan. Oh, he's going with the Gargamon and
Big
forcing him to
Gargo.
rest
Okay.
because he knows his
Yep.
opponent doesn't have a blue rookie right now, so that Upamon is stuck.
Yes, and that Mega Gargo will get a security tech
We'll
plus
get
1
security,
as long as something's suspended on Chris's field. And in addition to that, Mega Gargamon's stronger than anything in a Rookie Rush deck, so it will shred through all security.
So here's the thing, then. I think that if I'm Dave, just like contemplating his next turn, if I'm Dave, well, it doesn't matter anymore because his opponent just deleted his guy. I thought that he would swing on it, but if I'm Dave, what I would have did if my monster didn't die was swing face with Mega Gargamon and then double wipe with the first one. But Chris is just choosing to establish board, and the sad part about this is, if you're green, you have to respond to the aggression. You cannot swing face. You have to get rid of one of these units.
Yes, because that is 4 attackers on board. That's not what you want to see, unless you let him swing and then you have a Puppetmon to seal it. But at that point, even then you're still behind on security damage.
Unless he drops Puppetmon right now.
True.
His opponent only has so many cards in hand. You drop a Puppetmon right now, and you got 3 attacks against his 3 rested guys.
Yeah, but it's okay. He'll swing against the Auroramon, killing it, and choose to set up a Mimi.
That's going to help him match the aggression, right?
Stop the choke.
Right.
Yes.
Now this is assuming that his opponent doesn't stabilize and beat him because he does have the rookie blue. So there's always XVmon like hidden waiting.
Yeah.
But he's not getting value this game. He's not getting value this game. Okay.
Not at all. The XVmon is too little to survive at this point.
Look, and we say Chris got value, but unfortunately that's just one of the negatives of playing green, right? Is that up until you get to your ultimates, all of your guys are getting beat by basically everything else. So, but thankfully for him, he did see it. Is that him?
I believe that's a.
Is that a Terra Cluster?
That's a Positron Laser.
Oh, Positron Laser. Okay.
So he meets both requirements, so he will. Well, the first requirement doesn't really matter since there's nothing to stop from attacking, but it will bounce the suspended Mega Gargo back to Dave's hand, forcing Dave to reestablish Mega Gargomon.
No, but he has the ability to do that though, right? Because he Digivolves right now into an ultimate, rest the Mimi in order to hatch an egg, and then start to work your way up, work your way back up. So
it's not hard to get back to Mega Gargo. The question is Chris ready to deal with it again?
Right. So I'll say this: Dave needs to keep as many of those opposing greens off the board as possible, because most of these blue-green decks, they don't rely on blue options outside of Hammerspark. Like their defense is primarily in the green options. So the faster that Mushroomon disappears, the better. But you'll see he Digi-absorbed his way into Blossommon, so this is potentially the Gargomon here. I may Digivolve rookie and then just drop the Mega Gargomon right now, set my opponent to 1, and force his turn to be over with.
It would be crazy if he does all this and then Chris had another
Positron Laser, right?
That'll be some crazy stuff. But we'll see Dave put up a Goblinmon, potentially setting up for a Sarismon. But
the Gargomon.
No. There's a Gargo. So he's choosing to still have a board, and then he's gonna stun something. So it's gonna be the Betamon.
I think he's right to stun the Betamon. It does have the Upamon in source, which is going to allow him to draw since he has the Goblymon with no source. So, that definitely was probably the better play. Now, again, I keep bringing this card's name up, but there's always XVmon in order to unlock the Upamon. So,
and Mushroomon yet again getting value.
Man.
it'll definitely win out against every rookie that like Green has to offer,
right.
except for unless they're maining Auroramon.
You know, maybe. You know, in my Omnimon build, I main deck the new Agumon that's at 4 with the Digivolve 1. And also on my Gallimon deck, because in the Gallimon build, because it's such a memory-focused build, we don't really have ways to deny people. So I actually play 4 copies of that Agumon on my Gallimon build just to give me a way to go. It's your turn, now make it my turn again without doing too much.
Yes.
I don't think
Having
Green
a
wants to do that, though.
Yeah, because right now, okay, Chris is going to get a Gomamon on board.
Now, I will say this.
Okay.
Dave's in a better position, though, because he has 2 monsters he can swing into. So,
Yes.
and his opponent can't deny him.
Oh, that's how we get the deny. There's the Puppetmon, freezing Dave's field. So now Dave has a Tentomon that he can evo all the way up, and he can still use Mimi to get another egg, to get more draws.
So,
So Chris is threatening lethal right now.
Yes.
The question is, what
Dave
does
respond to it?
Dave has 1 attack.
He has 1
so
attack,
he's
right?
1 attack, yeah.
Potentially 2 if he draws his way into another Mimi.
True. That is true.
You know,
that is very much true.
There's the Woodmon, so he's going to save himself 1 damage.
Yeah, get himself a blocker. Pretty good setup.
There's
Mimi
the
hatch. Start digging for more. I think if Dave has Puppetmon in his deck, I think that's going to be very helpful, or potentially a second Mega Gargomon to stun the Puppetmon. And there it is.
There it is.
Look at that.
Oh, he gave up his blocker for that. But you know what? That might be better for him, though.
Yeah.
Because now his opponent can't kill without the XVmon. But he has lethal because he has both of the Mega Gargomons, the rookie in the back, and the Goblimon that's clearly going to get obliterated.
Yes.
Oh, he's swung face.
Yeah, because the Puppetmon's stunned, so it's not really a threat anymore.
It's not, but like, his opponent still has 4 monsters on board right now. Because
that is
the
true,
bruise,
Josh, yeah.
2 of those are going to unlock themselves. Oh, he had the Puppetmon back.
There's your reverse puppet play.
Yes. So now the question is, can Chris seal it with a replacement puppet of his own?
Does Chris have another puppet, or he's just gonna get a draw, dig, get the free jam.
Now let me. Oh no, they couldn't stand because of the puppet monster. Yeah, so he saved himself death this game at least.
He did, yes, and
again, that's not value. It has jamming.
Yeah, not value. That is just effect.
That is just effect, right?
So I think we've seen a lot of Davises into Puppetmons.
There's XVmon.
But Chris will need to dig for that, unless he has just like 3 XVmons that he can use.
Well, he just digivolved XVmon, so I'm waiting for the stand.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna choose. Because if he chooses Betamon, he gets another draw.
He gets the up right. So right now. So he's either fishing for the XVmons or he's fishing for the Puppetmon. I feel like he's fishing for the Puppetmon. Because without the Puppetmon, Dave just stole this game with that reverse Puppetmon. So
yeah, so he will get the swing, and it will die on the tie.
So here's the thing, Chris can still turn this around because he does have 8 memory to work with. So he hard drops a Davis, fishes for Puppetmon. If he has another Davis, you hard drop it, you fish for Puppetmon. There are still ways for Chris to get out of this turn without Dave winning.
Yes, another draw with a Gabumon, putting him at 5 memory. That's more digging, and the second XVmon. Second XVmon, let's go.
That actually might have just won the game.
How long does he have the third though? That is the biggest question.
No, because that XVmon can still swing.
He has the he has the third. I knew it.
Wow. Now that's
a madman
that he
play.
went 2-0, but that was crazy, right?
Oh my god.
That I will say this. Dave played this game much better than that first one. Like he definitely had the pieces to win.
Yes.
I think the only thing he could have did differently, and I said this earlier, was instead of swinging face, was to swing on that one of those Digimon. Because that Betamon not being there just now would have been big.
Yeah, especially since that that extra draw potentially enabled Chris to get to either the third XVmon. Craziness.
Yeah, that was definitely a much better showing, especially for the audience who's watching. I don't mind any deck that anyone plays, but sometimes it's just nice to actually see a game. And I feel like Blue
Yeah.
Green Rush prevents players from enjoying watching because games just end so quickly unless their opponent draws, the best hand possible. That was definitely more of a game. I'm sorry that my boy lost, but he definitely put up a good fight just now. So thank you for the showing, Dave. Chris, congratulations on the W. And we're walking into a blue-green finals. So
Yes, a mirror match of sorts also.
yeah, I was hoping the green, shout out to Chris. I was hoping Dave would win so that we wouldn't see the mirror in the finals because I feel like some of them, like other matchups, are more. Sometimes other matchups are more interesting than mirrors. Um,
Mm-hmm.
So I was hoping Dave would win just so we wouldn't have the mirror, but no, not taking anything away from Chris. He played that phenomenally. He deserved to get that. He had the pieces. He had the searches. Um, so we said he had an out. We said he had an out in the way of Davis's Puppet or XVmons, and he pulled every XVmon out of his deck just now.
Yeah, that's the stuff that you're like, all right, well, I have a win
Right.
con. Let's do it.
Right. I have a win con. Let's do it. So that was definitely look, we got the head judge. I told you guys at the start the head judge was up here at Gamers Heaven with me. He's looking like, what type of game was that? So
The game that ended it.
the game that ended it, yeah. So I apologize to the guys on the stream watching me look to the side. John, there you go. It's gonna be a blue-green mirror. Andrew, he's over here like, man, that game was crazy. So out of respect, he's not talking, guys. So if it looks like I'm just talking to no one, out of respect for the stream, he's not speaking. But you could definitely see his face. He's like, wow, what type of match was that? So I guess assuming that our players did not leave, the next round should be for third place. I would hope that they stayed in order to try to win that third place prize, which is going to be more packs of Great Legends. But we got a game for game 3. It's going to be a game between Dave playing green and Ryan on yellow. Now, Andrew, this is the matchup that I thought was going to happen at the end of the finals.
Really?
Because Ryan was playing, obviously working the stream, I watched all of those games. Ryan was playing out of this world during the playoffs. I mean, he was really like, I thought there was no way he was dropping the game. So that's why it's surprising for me that he lost round 1 of the championship with the way, with such a strong showing in the finals. But with the way he was playing, and then on the other side of it, Dave was beating everything. He beat double shine Greymons, basically 2-0s. He lost to the Blue Imperial Dramon player that we just saw, Chris Sock, and then he won his final game in order to secure his spot in the finals. But leading up to that last week, Dave was playing out of this world too. I didn't think there was any way he was losing, so I thought him and Ryan was just taking a warpath to the finals, top 2. And that was the game that I was expecting to see, coming up here. So it's great that I'm getting that game now. Even if it is, unfortunately, it's not going to be for first place, but it's great that I'm going to get to see the matchup that I wanted to see, which is going to be Ryan's, Shine Greymon against Dave Sarismon. And once again, unfortunately, Andrew, your boy moved to Philly, so it's not a New York versus Philly.
A New Yorker to
it's not a New
us.
York versus Philly joint anymore. It's now going to be Philly versus Philly.
He's honorary New Yorker.
He's an honorary
as far as
New
we're
Yorker.
concerned.
Look, by the way, if you're watching the stream and you're from New York, shout out to all those places in New York. So I played a lot of tournaments out there for Vanguard. So I'm Andrew. Correct me if I get their names wrong, but shout out to King's Games. Shout out to Clarkson's Corner, I believe is the other one that we were at during the Von Gola circuit. Shout out to all those places. I don't remember all of y'all names, but shout out to all of those places. If you live in the New York area, you should definitely check those places out. They have great people, great stores, great turnout for tournaments. So If you are in the New York area and I'm telling you something you don't know, go check those places out because they're great. The one place that I really want to give a shout out to, Andrew, and the name of it I can't remember, and we'll get back to Digi Talk in a moment. You did a Von Gola circuit that me and Tom went to, and the first floor was like a cafe, like an actual cafe, and then the back of it and the top floor was not.
Yes.
Whatever the name of that
Yes.
store is, shout out to that store. I have never forgotten my experience in that store. So, but I can't tell people to go to it because I can't remember what it's called. So, but yeah. And then on our side, shout out to Gamers Heaven. Thank you for allowing me to come in your space today despite the virus and set my stuff up. And kind of host the finals from here. Again, a couple of those guys were previously watching on stream because we're advertising for them as a thank you. And so it's been a great day so far. We only halfway through, so we're moving right along. So again, the next game is going to be the third place game. Chris is not playing this game. Ryan's going to be playing Dave, and this is a matchup that I think is going to be very good for Dave potentially, but not necessarily bad for Ryan. Because Dave can speed into ultimates, which is going to put Ryan at those just awkward enough numbers to have to commit tamers to. And he'll be able to get a wide board very quickly without giving up too much memory, which is going to make some of those kids lose value. Because like the value that comes from WarGreymon is whatever you just set up is gone. Your board's empty. But because of the way green plays, they'll be able to speed that board up. So WarGreymon won't be, in theory, deleting whole entire boards. So Dave, I feel like, has a better matchup against WarGreymon than some of the other decks in the format right now. But Ryan's no slouch. It is still WarGreymon. It is still a very, very dangerous deck. So, I know you're rooting for your boy Ryan. Again, I gotta give it to Dave because I would like my buddy who lives around the corner from me to get at least one W. Get at least one W in the finals. I would hate, to have, again, both of these players were on warpaths coming up to this point. So the fact that they both lost in game one of the championship is very telling about the level of competition that is here, even despite the decks that are being played. So, they should be going through deck checks now, and we'll be joining them in a moment. So, Andrew, me and you, we can just chill for a moment. Is anything you want to say about this matchup, or you just want to talk Digimon in general? We can go do the Digi Tamer battle where I'm not choosing Davis this time because apparently he lost to everyone.
You lost to your own rules, my friend. It's I just followed along. Let's see what can we do. So let's actually talk about what's coming up with Battlecore. Josh, I believe you and Corey have mentioned multiple times about what's coming up.
Yes.
Do you have any more information, or do you just want to just do the whole explanation
so
again of what's happening?
That's fine. So we could do that. For everyone watching the stream, for some of the players in the previous weeks, if you're watching the stream, let's start with what the players got who did not make it to this point. And then we can kind of transition from there. And so all of the players who made top 16, this is not stacked, by the way, guys. So everything that I'm about to say, the players who made top 8, they don't get the stack from the previous one. And you'll understand what I mean in a moment. So everyone who made top 16 gets three free entries into Battlecore events during the off season between the next Digi Tamer Series. So players 9 through 16, they will all get 3 free entries into Battlecore events outside of the Digi Tamer Series, along with the other things that they're getting, like the playmats that they earned on the way up here and the packs of the Great Legends booster. For the players that made top 8, they will get free entry into all Battlecore events that they want to participate in leading up to the next Digi Tamer Series. And I can check the Discord really quick to make sure that information is correct. Excuse me. But that if I'm not mistaken, that is the case. Yup, here it is. So for the prizing, yes, players will be receiving. So for the prizing, players will be receiving those entries into some of the Battlecore tournaments. We announced it during the initial live stream when we first started the series. So that's going to
Mm-hmm.
be, prize number one for the 16 players. Top 8 players are getting entry into the Battlecore events. Don't quote me on this. Corey's the guy in charge, so he may come behind me and put an asterisk on everything that I'm saying. So please take this with a grain of salt. I'm doing this off memory. So top 16 should be getting a free entry into 3 Battlecore events. We will keep track of that. Top 8 will get free entry into all Battlecore events in between the off season, and then everyone in top 8 will get a free invitation to the playoffs for the next Digi Tamer Series. Next Digi Tamer
Nice.
Series is going to be the Tournament of Destiny. So it's if you saw the promo video, and I believe we can actually get that up on screen if we want to show it to the audience. I think we might have a little bit more time because yeah. So we're waiting for the second player for his deck check. So we do have a bit of time. So let's go ahead and get that on screen for everyone who's watching from home. Okay, so Andrew, we're gonna get you silent for a moment, just so that
Sure thing.
we're gonna I'm not gonna mute you or anything, but you know if I want to show these guys what's going on while we're thinking about it. So here's the window capture, guys. So for everyone who's watching from home, we're gonna play this cinematic for you real quick. All right, so that was the cinematic for it's only 20 seconds long, Andrew, which is why I'm back already. But that is the
Mm-hmm.
cinematic for the Digi Tamer Series Tournament of Destiny. We will be dropping more information out on that later, but I showed this to you to say that everyone who made top 8 in the Digi Tamer Series will be getting free invitations to the playoffs of the the Tournament of Destiny. And what that's going to be is for this series, it was a 16-player turnout, right? So we had 8
Mm-hmm.
qualifiers. The top 2 players from each qualifier got invites into the playoffs, and the top 4 players from that are playing today.
Yep.
In 3 months' time, don't quote me on this because we're trying to, do 2 a year. So 3 months from now will be the next one, roughly. Those 8 players will get free invites to the playoffs. We're still going to take the top 2 from each qualifier and give them invitations as well. So the next Digi Tamer Series playoffs will be the top 8 seeded players from this playoffs, basically defending their top 8 spots against the new 16 players who will be earning qualifiers next season. So instead of a 16-player turnout, it will be a 24-player turnout. So that's going to be for the Tournament of Destiny. Everything, again, before I continue, everyone on stream, take this with a grain of salt. I'll get Mustang on, at another point. He's not here today because he had some family emergency come up, but we'll get him on stream. We'll do a video with Andrew a bit later, kind of talking about that. So just take all of this with a grain of salt. That being said, everything for the Tournament of Destiny is going to be Digi Egg themed. So basically, we're going back to season 2 of Digimon with the Digi Armor eggs. So that's why, thus the Tournament of Destiny. So you'll notice that the cinematic had the golden egg of, the golden armor Digi egg on it. Each qualifier week, the mat. So for this event, we had one mat and everyone won the same mat, but you won a different crest for the event. So Tom won the Tournament of Courage, so he got the Crest of Courage. And during the first 2 games, when you saw those title cards for the people on stream, that's what that bottom part was referring to when it was saying things like, Digidestined of Courage or Sincerity or whatever. That's how you know that they came in first place in that event and got that crest for that event, as well as the other prizes that you get for it. Tournament of Destiny is going to be Digi Egg themed. So each week, rather than giving out the same mat, there will be a different themed mat for that event. So for, I believe the Courage is Davis's egg, right? The one for FlameDramon.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be Courage.
Yeah,
Yep.
you can correct me because I think the friendship one is
Raydramon.
right? So, but for each egg, there will be a different mat. So like if you participate in the Tournament of Courage for the Digi Egg series, you should be, and again, don't quote me on this, I haven't designed any of those mats yet, a Davis mat with FlameDramon, like theme mat. And then we'll follow that theme each week up until the playoffs where you aren't winning any more mats. Obviously, you should have won your mat getting your qualifier. And then for the finals, I'm not even going to speak to it because I'm not even thinking about what mat I'm doing for the finals 3 months from now. We got a lot of administrative stuff to take care of on the back end. So I'm definitely not planning any of the mat designs right now. Um, so again, we'll double back for a moment. Andrew, and I apologize that I'm not giving you a chance to speak. For the people who are on the stream who are just joining or joined later rather than sooner, this is the mat that we are going to be giving the top 4 players today. It is Andrew, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but if you want to check out the stream real quick, it's on screen. This is the mat that I've designed that we're going to be giving out to the players today. So it goes along with the theme that we had for the tournament, which was the Agumon Warp Digi-Evolution Chain, the Gabumon Warp Digi-Evolution Chain, and Omnimon, since obviously he was the theme of Digimon for their release. They had all the boosters and such with the Omnimon paraphernalia on it and such. And we themed our tournament that way, which is why first place gets the Agumon Warp Chain, second place gets the Gabumon Warp Chain, the alternate arts for most of those cards, etc., etc., etc. So for the mat for the finals, we did an Omnimon mat in a similar style to the qualifiers, so that way it would look kind of similar. And if you have both of those mats, they would fit nicely together. Where we have the Agumon, and he basically is warp digivolving into the sword on the right, and then you have the Gabumon running from the right, warp digivolving into the Garurumon cannon on the left. So again, this is going to be mat that the players are playing for today. If you have depending on the place that you come in, rather I should say, will determine what that achievement unlock says on the bottom. So again, for those of you who are just joining, this is going to be the mat that the players have the opportunity to win today. Coming back over to myself, we are still waiting for the games for the opponents to finish their deck check. So that being said, Andrew, do you mind if we take a brief intermission?
Yes,
I, as
let's
an
do that.
individual, need to go to the bathroom. So,
Yeah,
we're gonna take a brief intermission on screen. I will leave you guys who are watching from the stream with the image of the mat, so that anyone who comes in can see this mat. We will be back. All right, everyone on the stream. Blychey is back. We are back. I apologize. We need a short intermission. In case for the players who didn't hear it, or maybe the audio just didn't come through, Ryan Hurt will be taking a game one loss for this game. The start time was posted. We've allowed him 10 minutes to try to get here. He did not make it during that time frame, so the judge has awarded the game one loss for this game. So unfortunately, he will be playing from a game behind. It's that unfortunately that kind of happens when you play in a tournament of this caliber. But what we're gonna do for right now, and Andrew, I don't know if you're back yet, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna unmute Dave Graham. Dave, are you here?
I am here.
Dave, we're gonna talk to you for a little bit while we wait for your opponent to finish his deck check. Andrew, are you back yet or no?
Yeah, I'm back, Josh.
Perfect. Dave, what were your thoughts about that last game, man? Obviously we were watching, and your opponent was playing the blue-green Rush, and he kind of got every value out of everything he was doing. What were your thoughts on the receiver end of that?
Honestly, it's like green doesn't have as much removal. The best removal we have is Positron Laser if you're doing the blue-green, but that's only bouncing one. It's the Cocytus Breath.
Right.
So, like, when he bounced my card, I'm able to climb back into it. So it's like, okay, cool, I have that. But I can swing into cards, but if you're getting 3 cards per one swing, you're going to outvalue me anyway. So
right.
Best case scenario, I can keep your board down. This isn't next set where we have Nidhoggmon to just scoop the board up or, ways to attack untapped Digimon for free. So we just have to mitigate that. So that's when I dropped the Puppetmon, and I'm like, okay, I did the math. If you have 2 XVmons, I still have 1 more attack left before I lose. You have 3. I'm like, okay, you get it. You got it. If you can draw into the third one, you got it.
Dave, give us 1 second. So once again, for the guys on the stream, this is Joshua with Battlecore, Andrew with Replay Works, and we're talking to Dave Graham, who unfortunately lost the game last round against Chris Sock. And we're just kind of getting his take on the game while we wait for his his last opponent for the day to conclude their deck check. So Andrew, do you have any questions for Dave? Because I have one very important question that I want to ask. But before I ask that question, Andrew, did you want to ask him any questions while we have him available for a few seconds?
I don't know if I can ask this. It does pertain to the side deck choices.
Oh, right, and they're still in an official game.
Yeah,
right.
that is a thing on my mind.
Actually, I'm 100% A-okay with any side deck questions, so that's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Hey. So one of the things I was thinking about that could really work against Blue Green Rush was like Rosemon. Does that like resonate with you?
So Rosemon would actually be a great option.
Mm-hmm.
However, for Rosemon, you still have to Digivolve for 3 into it. So that's 3 memory versus 2 memory most of the time. It doesn't immediately tap someone down. It still requires your opponent to attack first and then respond back. So you can mitigate it to a point, but if your opponent's board is like 6 Digimon, that's still 3 attacks to get through.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
So my question for you, Dave, is, and I guess we'll let this be the last question because I don't know when Ryan's going to conclude his deck check, and I don't want to take up all of the time. But during that last offense of yours, so you Digivolve into Mega Gargomon. Unfortunately, one of them was still down, and then you basically were able to swing, and you chose to swing into his security to put him to 3, as opposed to swinging into the Betamon. So I am extremely curious as to why you chose to swing security as opposed to removing the Betamon. Because on my side, we know he has XVmons. We know that's a target for the XVmon. So I was just really curious to why you chose damage over board removal.
So in that instance, he still had enough targets to evo into the XVmons or possibly do other plays. So him restanding any Digimon is still an extra attack. He can evo it off any blue Digimon. Me putting him to 3, any board would still present lethal. But he still has the option to check Hammer Sparks and possibly either end my turn or put me in an unfavorable position. He can check 2 Hammer Sparks, and that's -4 memory for me. Me knocking out the security early can guarantee a win next turn. Unless you have a way to restand 3 times, I don't see you doing it. Unfortunately, he had the way to restand 3 times.
Right. All right.
Unfortunately, like I said, Chris is an amazing player. Like, he dug through his deck, he got the answers. So he got the answers.
All right. Well, we're not gonna take too much more of your time because the head judge is notifying me that your opponent is ready to come out of deck check. And we don't obviously want you giving away your strategies to the person you're about to play. So Dave, you can go ahead and mute me and Andrew. We're gonna go ahead and mute you. And then if we want to bring you back in later, I'll either get the head judge to contact you, or otherwise you are free to go, man, after your next game. So good luck, and we're gonna bring your opponent in here so you guys can go throw down.
All
I don't
right.
know. I don't know if you're aware, but just let you know, since you will be playing, that you obviously know we do the timers for the arrivals for the players. Your opponent was awarded a game one loss for missing the call by
Yes, I
by 10
know.
minutes.
I don't
Okay.
even know if you guys heard me. I was literally screaming Ryan at the top of my lungs, like, because as you know, Ryan's a friend of mine too, and I'm like,
Right.
yeah, I wanted to meet him in the finals, but rookie
Right.
exists.
Or something. The stream sees me turn to the side. Um, See, that's more of a question for the TO though. That's not really our call. So never mind.
Yeah.
That's more of a question because I was gonna say, potentially because of this, the championships, we can potentially talk to the TO and see if they want to forego that. But unfortunately, like I said, the just with everything that's going on right now, we're just gonna stick to formalities because I don't want to give someone preferential treatment when we might not have done it for someone else. So unfortunately, we're gonna leave Ryan with that game loss. Dave, me and Andrew are gonna mute you. John's gonna get Ryan in here. You guys will be he'll get you started for the game, and then you'll be starting from game 2.
All right.
All right, man. So as for you, Andrew, it's interesting
Yes.
that he kind of explained that choice because, like I said, on my side, it's one of those, okay, why not swing in?
Mm-hmm.
So I personally, like as an individual, was just really, really curious about that. Um, to the guys on stream, we're gonna rotate the camera over to the game so you guys can watch, have fun. Also, if you're popping questions in the stream, by the way, I will be coming over to the stream after this game during the deck check for the next players. Me and Andrew can maybe go through some of if you're talking in there, we can kind of go through some of those and answer any questions
Mm-hmm.
or comment on anything that you're saying. Otherwise, stay tuned, enjoy the game. But yeah, back to you, Andrew. I'm really glad
Yeah.
that he answered that question because I was definitely mind blown by the choice to swing in. Um, as opposed to, you know, as opposed to clearing board. So,
Yeah.
I'm glad that he came in and answered that. Even with him saying, even with him explaining though, I still feel like I might have swung into the Betamon. Um, but I guess it wouldn't have mattered because he digivolved all the XVMons without the Betamon anyway, right? so,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it might not have
I think it
mattered.
does come down to the heat of the moment. Hindsight's 2020. There really was no bad call per
Right,
se. So it does come down to I guess the play style of the player, where they're like, okay, well, this is the risk I am willing to take,
right, right.
et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, because like I said, I was definitely like, oh, you know, he's not swinging in on that. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, he made a choice, and again, it wasn't necessarily a bad choice. I was just curious as to why he opted that because, like, to me, right, you already have game on board with the two Mega Gargomons, the rookie and the raising area, so you don't really need to swing face in that moment. So that's why I was like, why did he choose to swing face?
Yeah, and it looks like we are off to the races on
Yes.
this game.
All right. So look, we got Ryan going into the Silent Mon, and yes, see, that's what I was talking about against the blue-green player. Just immediately getting that TK down as fast as possible.
Yeah, get
Is
that
that
set up. Get yourself
is that
some
Glorious
memory every
Burst?
single turn. That's Glorious Burst. Yes, that
Okay.
is I would say an instant grab because it is 100% useless in security. I I can't stress that enough.
He said, I cannot stress that enough. Um, Now he really didn't do that much. So, but he will be able to do more. I feel like the one memory he would have put his opponent at this turn, uh, is better used as 3 memory for his following turn because he'll be able to do more than he could have with trying to put his opponent to 1. So,
Yes,
but Davis
and they'll
completely taking advantage of this moment to utilize that memory to kind of go up some chains.
yeah, and it will stop the choking from being too detrimental. So that's a pretty big problem that Shrine has. It is prone. If you choke it out, it's prone to, I would say, lose its pace.
So while we're it looks like Ryan's thinking about what he's gonna do really quickly. So while he's doing that, what do you feel about the strategy that players have been employing of the whole I'm not swinging in Shine until I have lethal on board? Do you think that's like a viable strategy for Dave here, or do you think he should stick with his original game plan, which is just to play a normal type of game of Digimon?
Hard to tell because Ryan put down the Kari so early. Then it's like I definitely don't want to start swinging in because then they're gonna get compound memory every single
Right.
turn with that extra Kari. I think it really does depend. If we did not see Kari, I'd say it might be safe, but at the same time, if you don't have lethal and then you swing in and you see 2 or 3 tamers come out of security, then you just set yourself up to get reverse board wiped.
Right. Well, I will.
I would say. Go
No,
ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead. I'll let you go first because Dave's still.
I would say slow and steady is the case. It depends on every single turn what you think they have, what they can do, and then just adjusting from there.
Well, I will say this. I know you're going to excuse me to make this comment, but I will say this. To start, I think that Dave might be okay to attack with this Sarismon. I'm not sure because we know Ryan plays the Lopmon, which can easily put him down to 3.
Yeah.
But Dave's in a very strong position right now because at this moment, anything Ryan does that he, does not warrant Sarismon dying is fodder to the Digi absorption and then getting annihilated. So Dave's in a very strong position right now. Like Ryan can't even move that guy out without swinging because if you leave it, it's going to die to Sarismon. So
yeah, and he is choosing to swing into the Gargomon for the trade, just to get rid of it. And also to get rid of Sarismon with the Glorious Burst.
Yeah, right. And I made that comment even though we saw him pull that out of the security with TK.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you, it's not just the players who feel the stress. We as the people who are watching, we feel it too. That I completely forgot he pulled that Glorious Burst, man. Let's see how Dave responds going into the Tentamon for his raising area Digi Evolution. He does have 4 memory right now, so he has a lot of room to work with. And he's still kind of in the driver's seat right now because Ryan has no Digimon anywhere. So Dave is still kind of in the driver's seat. Like it was a very soft reset. Nothing that is going to be detrimental to the game state, except in the event that obviously Dave had been able to get both of these Megas on board. That would have been devastating for Ryan.
Yeah, it's Dave's gonna be able to rebuild the board. Ryan doesn't really have anything left to check it. If he had a champion in the back, that might be a different story. But in this case, there's not much Ryan can do if that happens, where another Sarismon comes out.
Right.
Unless the second Glorious Burst comes out, then that's something that'll work.
Right. There's always Eden's Javelin. If he can build up his tamers a little bit more, and then, build his hand up a little bit more, then there's always Eden's Javelin in order to delete the Sarismon as well.
Yeah. I would say that comes out pretty late game, to be honest.
Yeah. Ryan chose to go into Shikakumon. So I believe that's just going to be a straight pass. Dave's going to start turn at 2 memory. And okay, I thought Dave's camera might have froze, but no, it seems we're good. So
yeah,
he's gonna start turn it to memory and promote his Tentamon. We'll see what he decides to do. All right, so despite the Kari, he is choosing to swing in. His opponent revealed. I can't remember the name of that ultimate at the moment.
That's Sirenmon. It's the vanilla 5 to play 6 DP. Yeah, I mean swinging once is good. Puts Ryan at 4. So it eases up later on when you need to try to swing for game. Because now you only need to swing for 5. So it's like a free hit.
He did go into this Rapidmon, so he could potentially play another Sarismon and just put his opponent to I don't know if I would put my opponent to 5 like that, but he is completely set up. And if he does not Digivolve this Rapidmon, it is potentially fodder for the Shikakumon.
Yes. Pokemon
So
is inherently stronger.
right, so he's gonna have to either play a blocker or choose to give his opponent memory by Digivolving this Rapidmon, because otherwise he will get no value out of that unit.
It looks like
Okay.
he's just gonna straight Evo into Mega Gargo to protect it, giving him 2 Megas fully set up. Even if we do see Shine come out, it won't be able to kill anything. Brian will need to play another Tamer to kill one thing.
Right. And unfortunately, he doesn't, he didn't go into the Shine. Obviously, it doesn't matter in the Rate Nursery, but he didn't go into Rise because that ability is on Digivolve. So, he has 4 memory. He could potentially hard play Trial Deck TK for 2,
Yeah.
and then Digivolve into the Shine Greymon, which will allow him to delete 1.
But he looks like he's just going straight into Shine. And that's actually another play. He could actually swing
And swing into it,
something
right.
and kill it. Yes.
What are you swinging into? Are you swinging into the Ceresmon to prevent you from Digi-absorptioning me and swinging back, or are you swinging into Mega Gargamon so that you don't have to threaten
Alex?
all of this damage on board?
I would.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
looks like he chose the
Mega
Mega
Gargamon?
Gargamon.
Oh, because I'll. Okay. Wait. I'm not gonna say it until I think I know the play.
Yeah,
I
I don't know the play,
smell-
so surprise me.
Oh no! I thought he was gonna try to do like an Eden's Javelin play and then knock out the
Oh,
Ceres,
Okay,
but
okay.
that was not the case. But
All right,
he's gonna put
so-
up a Unimon to protect the Shine.
For the viewers, because again, I didn't notice that play just now. So for the viewers, explain that play that you're referring to while we're waiting for Dave to make his moves.
Yeah, sorry. It could have been a little bit more telegraphed if Ryan had the Eden's Javelin, but what Shine could do, it definitely would have killed Mega Gargomon or Ceresmon. It didn't really matter. But if Ryan had the Eden's Javelin, he could Evo into Shine, minus 8k DP onto one of the other, swing into the one that he didn't touch because Shine will be 13 base,
Right. Oh,
and then he can go Eden's Javelin to kill off the other. So it would send Dave to 6, but
His
at the
board
same
would be
time,
clear.
Shine would check both.
Right.
I thought he was going to do that, but then I realized that he split the difference with the 4Ks.
Right.
And that was unfortunate.
So right.
Mhm,
Dave,
mhm.
in response to that turn, if we can catch back up real quick. Dave is elected to hard Digivolve into medium Argomon and then Digi-absorb into big Argomon to remove the blocker so he can get rid of Shine Greymon.
Yeah. So it's a really good play on Dave's end, and he's going to get a yes, because the Agumon.
Because
Wait, no,
Agumon is his source. He has Agumon as source.
that cannot. It can't attack. It can't play this turn.
Right, because he hard played the
That
Agumon.
was,
So the Unimon is still safe.
Yeah.
But it did allow him to get rid of the Shine Greymon.
True. Yes.
But if Dave makes the mistake of giving Ryan 3 memory, then Ryan can always Digivolve into Rise Greymon to go to 12, Digivolve into Shine to delete something. So
Yeah.
he played him in a hidden potential unlimited though, so he's gonna get a free Digivolve here.
Yeah. So tap the Argomon to play something else on probably like a Mega Gargo on top of it.
To force the Unimon to stay down, and then you swing with the security +1 next turn.
Yeah. Next turn. Yeah. I think that'll be a very strong play in Dave's favor. Or you could play the big the giant Argomon to get a lot more security attack checks. That also works.
So I don't see many players play that card. So I'll be honest to you and everyone on the stream. I'm a little hazy on his skill. So enlighten me. How is that card grown up Argomon? Talk me through it.
Sure. So first things first, it's a 5 to Evo, but it does have Digisorption 3. The second thing is that it will get security attack +1 for each of your other suspended Digimon. So depending on the attack order, he can potentially swing for a security attack +2 or +3.
Okay.
In this case, it's really going to come down to how deep does Dave want to go in, and can he time it that way Argomon's extra security attacks don't go to waste.
Right. Well, I feel like he is able to do that because again he does play the champion Argomon clone. So if else his opponent can set another blocker, You know, Dave
Mhm.
just digivolves with Digiabsorption, rest the blocker, and then, it's kind of weird, right? Because actually, let me correct myself. You digivolve with the Digiabsorption on the Agumon, but you don't rest your opponent's Digimon. That way, you have the rest of Digimon. You don't have to worry about um, losing the security attack. But
Right.
Ryan has obviously just put down a second blocker, so all of this is going to be a moot point. I don't think there's really a way for him to get around the. There's no way for him to get the security attack in because even if he rests one of the blockers, which is only once per turn, his
Yes.
opponent will just save his second blocker for all of those security
Yes.
attacks. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's really good that Ryan set up 2 blockers right now. It does protect him from lethal. So now we kind of like play the staring game, or maybe we'll see Dave go a little bit more aggressive and try to just start swinging with Sarah, since uh, just off of base values, Sarismon is stronger than anything in Ryan's deck
right,
because Shine is only 11k,
right, right.
and Ryan's already at 3 because he nailed it with Akari, so might as well try to go for the kill.
So I still don't see how he could kill this turn. He's already used the hidden potential
Right?
unlimited,
Yeah.
which means that's not an option to get into the Mega Gargamon for the security +1.
Yeah, it's really just like setting up for next turn present lethal,
Yeah.
because right now Dave has a very good opportunity to get rid of both the Unimons and put Ryan at 2 security, and then have 4 attackers next turn.
Right. Now, I will say this: even if he puts Ryan at 2 security, he does have the TK, and Kari is live now. So Ryan
Yes,
at min
yes.
has 4. So, the question now becomes, what can he do with 4 memory? If Dave's gonna start swinging, Ryan really needs some of those tamers to show up in his security stack. Um, because those two, they aren't gonna cut it with the board that Dave has stabilized, and now he's going into another Sarismon. So your blockers do nothing against me as well because
Mm-hmm.
I could digi off Agumon right now for free, rest your second blocker, and swing for game.
Mm-hmm.
Which
But in
it
this
looks like
case,
he's going to clear board here.
yes, Argumon's going to shred through potentially all 3 security. He gets security attack +1 for every other rested, so he'll have 3 damage, and then the Unimon's going to block, and saving Ryan from losing all of security. Then the Agumon inherent ability will play that Tentomon out for free. So that's
Right.
5 attackers next turn that Ryan has to deal with.
Do you see it out for Ryan right now?
I
I think it's,
do
it's looking
not,
pretty
to be
grim to
honest.
me because he does. I feel like he doesn't really have enough kids in the back, and even if he did, his opponent has 3 megas, so you're not strong enough to clear all of them.
Yes.
Um,
It's like he could play Rise, going to Shine. That can only either kill. I'm sorry, that can only kill one thing at this point.
right.
It's not advantageous right now. So I think Surimon's going to swing at Tentomon for the kill, and then reduce Argomon by 1 KDP. Put it to 10.
Well, that is one attack that he doesn't have to worry about. So now, if he goes in the Rise and the Shine Greymon, he is saving himself from defeat.
Yes.
So
The Shine will be very much vulnerable.
the Shine will be vulnerable. Yup. So in this situation, I feel like he kind of has to go to Shine and then delete the Argomon just to ensure that there are no bonus security checks next turn.
Yes, I agree.
And that will buy
I think
him
that'll
the
be the
turn that he
play.
needs, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Dave seems content to just play slow and steady. He's already in ahead. He doesn't really have to do anything, that compromises himself. So I feel like he's content to just use one of those attacks on that Shine Greymon.
Yep.
All right, so Dave's gonna open his turn at 4 memory, and right, because Ryan played Rise Greymon to go to 0, and then Shine Greymon for 4. So Dave has a lot of breathing room here. He does still have the Mimi, so he can hatch that last egg if he so chooses, which will
Mm-hmm.
unlock more Digi-Absorb fodder for him since he plays the Champion Agumon. So And yeah, there it is. He, like I said, he's just content to clear board and make it so that Ryan is not able to really do much against this.
Yeah, yeah, and the Saraspawn, the Saraspawn that's still unsuspended can get another free attack in, just put him at 2. So it's looking like Dave's setting up the board very well, and just making sure that any outcome is just like not an option at this point.
Not an option, right?
Yep.
And I think the one thing that could have helped Ryan right now would have been more Karis showing up in his security just now.
Yeah.
Um, so because if he could have got himself to 6, he might have been able to. He potentially might have been able to get himself through another turn. With a combination of something like a Glorious Burst or Eden's Javelin, something that can kind of reduce their own cost to eat something away.
Yes.
Um, but I don't really think that's an option at this point. He's going into the Patamon, and a Terurimon can help him make it up to Mega without necessarily passing his turn, and then he can delete one and swing into the other one. That might buy him another turn.
Yeah, but unfortunately he won't be able to attack at all this turn. So
Right, right.
that's really not an option.
It's not. You're right. I forgot that is in the raising area, and it will
Hmm.
not be able to swing, and a Shine Greymon will not be able to activate its skill from back there either. So,
Yeah.
um, this is looking pretty grim. I'm going through my brain trying to figure out what he could potentially draw or play, unless he techs a Puppamon in his deck. Um, then
or Kintaro's Mon.
or Kentarosmon, right? Well,
Yeah.
here's the moment where we figure out if he has it, because he put himself to 0. Kentarosmon will get him a turn, and that answer is going
No,
to
it
be no.
looks like a shine just to get rid of something. Um, Probably, yeah, maybe Gargamon. Yeah, that's about right.
I believe he could
Um,
still hit something in security. That could put like an Eden's Javelin. To try to
yes.
help out, but then like if you hit an Eden's Javelin and I'm Dave, I'm just gonna Argomon your Shine Greymon to defense mode and eat your last guy again.
Yeah.
Um, so slow and steady seems to be winning the race here.
Hmm.
All right, so he is coming down with the Gargomon to put himself to 4, and this is lethal for everyone watching. This is a lethal turn if he swings and doesn't bump into anything detrimental in security. And now it's beyond lethal.
Yeah, because that Mega Gargoyle's just gonna shred through the last 2 security. And even if you could kill one thing, you probably can't kill both.
Yeah, and he didn't get Eden's Javelin this turn, so it's kind of late though.
Yeah, yeah. Since I don't think he has enough. I mean, even if he could kill one of the Saris, it
It
doesn't
doesn't
matter because
matter, right?
we have a second Saris.
Yeah, so that's gonna be the game. Dave's gonna go ahead and swing in, and that's gonna put him at a 2-0 victory. It's unfortunate that Ryan had to take a game 1 loss because he didn't. I don't know what was going on. Obviously players have lives and things can happen in between games, but
Hmm.
um, it is unfortunate that he had to take a game 1 loss. Because I feel like he didn't necessarily play bad. Dave just played extremely well just now as far as like the choices that he made, and so unfortunately, this could have been a learning experience for Ryan. Like he could have got some information on his opponent's deck. He could have then used that information against his opponent. But unfortunately, because he took that game 1 loss because of not being timely, he's not going to have
Hmm.
the luxury of going into his sideboard and kind of responding to what he just saw. So that is going to end the game. Dave will be finishing in 3rd place, which is going to afford him some more packs of Great Legends. Ryan's going to be in 4th place, and then the only thing we're waiting on now is to see how this final game turns out against Blue Green Blue Green.
Hmm. Yep. Yep. Right. Sounds like this last round could end very quickly, to say the least.
Yes, and unfortunately, um, it can end really quickly for anyone because they're both playing the same deck. So it's not like we could say player A has more of an advantage than the other player because they're both playing the same exact thing, or at least that's what it looks like so far.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we'll go ahead and clear everything for the next game. And then yeah, so that's going to be the end of our. I don't think it's like a constellation game. I don't really know what the term for that is. The game that determines third place. Um, there's a name for it. I apologize, guys, for just being slow in the brain today. Um, that is going to end our game 3. So again, Dave's going to take it, go to third place. Ryan will be in fourth. Both of them will still be getting a copy of the mat. So there's that. And then obviously Chris Sock and his opponent John Ramon will be fighting for the trophies. They are guaranteed trophies. So it is just a matter of who gets the bigger trophy and who gets the primary evolution chain as well as the alternate or Omnimon.
Mm-hmm.
So with them both playing the same deck, Andrew, it's kind of hard to commentate this one. It's kind of hard to commentate this one because like it's a mirror match. So it's not like I get this strategy over you getting this strategy. We're both vying for the same strategy. Is basically whoever accomplishes that strategy faster. Um, so I don't want to bring bias into the stream, but um, if I gotta root for someone, I feel like I'm rooting for Chris Talk. You know, I hope that John Ramon
Oh,
plays. I
oh,
hope if he wins, great. I definitely think he's a strong player. He's definitely capable of doing it. But as we said before, when it comes down to a friend versus a stranger, you always have to side with your friend. But um, in the odds of being biased or unbiased, this is a coin toss or a coin
yes,
toss because they're both
yes.
playing the same deck. So, and John Ron played very strong against his opponent. So, um, you know, while I hope that Chris puts up a strong showing, if they both put up a strong showing, it's basically going to be whoever made the most beneficial plays at key opportunities. And Chris is certainly capable of doing that. John is certainly capable of doing that. Um, I have no clue how this is going to turn out today. Um, but knowing that Docile is, a frequent of Gyro Sean's Discord, I feel like there's going to be a lot of bragging. if he manages to come out on top of this, I feel like there's going to be a lot of bragging. Players have played through 13 weeks of tournament play for this one day. Um, So again, shout out to y'all for doing that for us. Shout out to the stream for watching. Andrew, I know that we were talking about what Battlecore has planned with the Digi Tamer Series. Does Replay Works have anything planned that you want to try to do? I know you are a well-known tournament organizer from your Vongola days, so um, you certainly know how to put an event together and see one through to its conclusion. Does
Mm-hmm.
Replay Works have any plans coming up? Are you doing like any charity streams, any reveals for sets or anything that we should, you want the audience to know about, or even just want me to know about? Because I have no clue if you're planning anything that you've kind of kept under wraps until now.
Well, as for circuits, I always believe that in-person events are number one for community building. I feel like it's the way that people can gather and look forward to and
Right.
act like a big reunion, you know? Um, right now, New York is, I think, 40% vaccinated, so that's a very good sign for our area and our locals, especially knowing that as the vaccination numbers go up, the capacity that stores and local game stores are allowed to play is also going to go up.
Right.
The question is a matter of when. And that's like a big thing on my mind, but I also want to make sure that uh, I don't jump the gun because I still want this game to naturally grow,
Right.
and
Right.
then give a big reason why this isn't just like, oh, you play for fun or you play for these promos. Now we can have a big thing in our area in person for these events. I think
Right.
at least on my end, I want to wait it out and see again when can we have bigger events? When can we when we have the 70% vaccination rates? That's the big thing that's going to drive my future
Right.
plans.
So
Yeah, go
no,
ahead.
go ahead. No, I'm listening.
Oh yeah, as for the channel itself, I still plan to do the analysis videos on major tournaments. Gyroshan has been great and very open about saying, hey, you can do whatever you can do what you need to do about my tournaments, because he runs a weekly webcam tournament, and I say,
Yes.
hey, Sean, can I borrow some deck lists? And he's like, yeah, go ahead. So he's been great in giving me some data to chew through, and giving us a reason to talk about like what analytics are going on with the Digimon community, since I think we have seen a large rise in webcam tournaments.
Yes.
It's just a matter of finding the, I guess, the premier webcam tournament where all the
Right.
players that are, I would say, established or accomplishing are starting to gather. That's like looking at the best of the best
Right.
in that kind of setting.
So obviously we know that the PPG Tour is going to be one of those places. They've been around for a while. They've kind
Yes.
of developed a name for themselves, as being a tournament organizer. I think that if I had to rank things, even when ARG was still around, I feel like PPG Tour kind of cemented itself as being above ARG as far as
Mm-hmm.
like the quality of competition. And that's nothing against ARG. I've been to a lot of ARG events. I've topped in a lot of ARG events, and they are great people.
Mm-hmm.
But the PPG Tour is very consistent in what they do. They always have, crazy astronomical prizes. Even for the webcam events, they're like, we got a half case over here, we got a case over here, we got $1,000 tournament over here, $1,000 tournament over there. They always have like these crazy prizes. Out, nothing against ARG. ARG is still a good circuit, if they continue to keep running. But a lot of their things were okay, participate in this, get some store credit, and then get this invitation to the finals. And the PPG Tour kind of hasn't really changed the formula, but they've
Mm-hmm.
kind of upped the ante as far as what players get out of playing. And so more players have kind of been migrating over to the PPG. So, like,
Yes.
going back to the original statement, we know PPG Tour is going to be one of those places. Hopefully, Battlecore can kind of cement itself as one of those places. Keep my fingers crossed for my squad. My squad on this sleeve. um, and then, outside of that, hopefully Bandai can run a better tournament than Bushiroad. Obviously, back in the day, you did your video about your thoughts on Bushiroad as a company and their tournament hosting ability.
Yes.
We know
Yeah.
we know they got the Shadowverse guys to do their stuff moving forward. So hopefully that is better for them. Um, but we'll have to continue this conversation in between the games because Chris Sock and John Rahman have both set up, and it looks like they're getting ready to throw down. The judge is introing them now.
Very nice.
But
Very
yeah,
nice.
so just to recap, PPG is definitely going to be one of those places, and then following that will likely be hopefully I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed. Battlecore, trying to come up there, and then Bandai, if they can do something better than Bushiroad, I think they'll be able to cement themselves as like a fan favorite for tournament participation.
Yeah, I definitely do want to see what big regional events will look like as we transition to potentially doing more stuff in person. Um, I think definitely a big factor is going to be like the safety aspect.
Right.
How can we ensure players' peace of mind that they are playing in a tournament where uh, proper, I'm gonna call it anti-COVID preparations are done. I think that's going to be how good or bad a an organizer
Right.
yeah,
Bandai
is.
is right. Um,
Yes.
I will say this, like I said, I'm coming live from Gamers Heaven. Not this is not for free publicity, but to say I am currently in an LGS right now.
Hmm.
And they have crazy implementations for COVID. So like right now, as weird as it sounds, they have a PlayStation 5 room, right? Where it's like, this nice couch that I'm sitting on, massive TV in front of me, PlayStation 5, people can run out the room. They've allowed me to run out this space, and like, except for me and my friends, no one can come in here. They don't even come in here. Like if they need someone in here, they knock on the door and we step out.
Yeah.
Their tables have all been set apart like 12 feet to allow 6 feet, at least 3 feet a piece of walking space between people standing up. So hopefully stores, Bandai, places can try to do something like they're doing here. Um,
Hmm.
but the game is starting, and John Roman has hatched his Upamon. He seems to be thinking very hard about this Betamon. So he's just going to set Chris to 1, and we'll see how Chris responds to that.
with another Upa of his own, and
Right.
going to Elecmon and setting up the Auroramon, and then we begin the memory choke game.
Right. I think that as far as choking, I think John Romami made a good play with the Betamon, but
Yeah.
in this matchup, numbers are key. So we'll find out sooner or later whether Chris having 2 over his 1
Mhm.
is going to change something, because again,
Yeah.
if we're rushing each other, if I have more guys than you, I'm going to win the rush. So
Yeah,
we'll see how this
especially
turns out.
since John did swing with Penguinmon. Oh, sorry, with Betamon and
Betamon.
hit Chris Penguinmon. So John's down 1 Mon.
I'm not entirely sure how to read the security for this one, because both of their securities are low. So um, there's a Puppetmon, so that's 1 Puppetmon John will not be securing a win with this game.
Yeah.
And
Good
the
value on
Elecmon.
the Aurora swing. Yep.
And there's a second one.
Yep. So now it's John's at 3 and Chris is at 4 security. So Chris can potentially put John back down to 1, unless John goes for the trade here.
Do you think he should go for the trade?
Uh,
Like, numbers are key, but like he loses an attack by trading this.
he has to. I think he has to. It's not just a matter of keeping the numbers down; it's also a matter of keeping the green off the field.
It seems like John might be stuck in a way, because that Upamon is still back there. He has not Digivolved over top of it, so he may not have any blue level 2s in hand to kind of get value out of this Upamon. It is going to be sitting back there till he draws a blue card.
Yeah, and Chris right now is presenting game with double Auroras and the Elecmon in the back.
So John did swing though, so he may have something for this. He potentially has maybe another Puppetmon as like a desperate I have to survive measure. And it is.
And you're on the money.
It is the Puppetmon. The I definitely cannot afford to lose right now. But now the problem is, assuming Chris Sock has a Puppetmon of his own, they get into a Puppetmon battle. John has the response Puppetmon or loses, and then if Chris Sock doesn't Puppetmon, does John have a Puppetmon of his own to kind of stall longer?
Yeah, but in this case, Chris I think is going back to the XVmon strat, and if he has one more XVmon, that'll clinch the game. Yep.
Yep, there it is.
That clinches
Gabumon for
it.
a draw, XVmon for the swing. Chris is playing out of his mind right now. I'll give him that. In every game that he's needed XVmons to clutch, they have come in clutch.
I mean, it's the perfect anti-Puppymon card. It definitely presents the game option against Puppymon when locked down.
Look, I like XVmon so much. I was trying to see if there was a way to put it in my red deck, which obviously there's like really no synergy there at all. But that card is really good, and you already know this, Andrew, because of the little conversation we had with Mustang a couple months back when we did the stream talking about the Tamer series. But I'm a huge fan of Davis, and I love the Vmon evolution chain. If I was not a red player, I would be playing any sort of Vmon deck. It's nice to see that XVmon himself and the Vmon, that kind of core of cards are really strong cards in this format.
Yes.
That makes me extremely happy as just a Vmon fan in general. And it's clutching games for players left and right. Chris has clutched 2 games off of XVmon drops. So
yeah, XVmon is, if you time it well, it'll just seal the deal.
yeah, so for John's side, it did feel like he was kind of stuck as far as what he was capable of doing. He wasn't able to digivolve that Upamon for like 2 turns. I think he died just now without ever digivolving that second Upamon. For John, he needs to see more of his blue card so he can get value out of those Upamons, because he may have been able to draw into a piece to fight against that if he had been able to digivolve up the Upamon chain into his own XVmon. Outside of that, I don't really think John needs to really do anything drastic if he's going to continue to play blue-green. It happens. It's unfortunate when we can't digivolve our Digitama. we as players got to remember that's not our fault. It could potentially be a ratio issue, but it's not our fault if we don't see those cards. Card games are RNG. We do shuffle. It is random. So if I'm John, Andrew, this is a question for you. If I'm John, are you thinking you need to do something drastic, in order to change it? Are you changing your deck into Blue Imperial Agumon if you have that in your sideboard? What are your thoughts as the losing player trying to respond to Chris's aggression just now?
That's a very loaded question. I don't. Again, I don't know what they're in the sideboard, right?
Right.
But if they did come prepared, potentially we might see some odd techs, like maybe a Volcanictramon, to deal with the field. But even then, the other player can just decide to play more Betamons, more Penguinmons, and Auroramon, of course.
Right.
I think from there, I don't think there is a faster deck that they can side into. I think at a certain point, it's like maybe like River of Power might actually show up and do something.
Right.
Like, I think that might be the only card that's just like the easy, okay, get 3 things off the field button.
Well, Chris has completed his sideboarding, stream. I know you just saw me change channels just now. Chris has finished his sideboarding. John has elected to go into his sideboard following that, so we'll see what changes he decides to make. If not River of Power, I hate to say this, but like in a blue-green matchup, I hate to see Puppetmons going against Puppetmons, because your opponent is going to abuse the fact that you just loaded them on memory.
Yeah.
So, and as we just saw with Chris, now, again, it varies on the game state. Unfortunately for John, Chris had a very strong game state. Even if he had not Puppetmon, Chris would have secured the game. So that Puppetmon was kind of his only out. So we can't say he shouldn't do that, but I really hate Puppetmons in this matchup because if your opponent is already in an advantageous situation, the Puppetmon doesn't necessarily secure you a turn unless your opponent doesn't have the response. But it's a blue-green deck, so the likelihood that they have the response is high because they're capable of drawing so many cards before they ever end their turn.
Yes, and as a last resort button, they also have Davis to dig even deeper.
Right. So I'm not entirely sure what John does. If I was playing, I might have some thoughts, but I play red, so I know when I'm sideboarding. When I sideboard against blue-green, I sideboard cards to make my Gallantmon core go faster because I can delete those rookies, sometimes potentially before you get to use them. Because Gallantmon deletes 6 and below. That's actually my response to playing against yellow. Is when during this event when I played yellow, I sideboarded some of the pieces from my Gallantmon core into my Omnimon deck, and I basically routed it from Omnimon into a Gallantmon build, specifically so that I'd have a stronger matchup against yellow. Because yellow players tend to sit on those Teruimons. They tend to sit on those, Sirenmons. But if you're sitting on Teruimon because you're waiting for memory or whatever the case is, and I delete it, you're starting over. So it puts me in a very beneficial position. So if it was me with my red deck, I'd have some thoughts on how to sideboard against blue-green. But I'm not a blue-green player. I'm familiar with what it does. So I'm not entirely sure what the mirror match sideboard is, to come out on top of this and force a game 3. It seems like you kind of just stay the course and hope that you draw better cards than your opponent this time around.
Yeah. Stay the course is definitely the plan. Again, outside of River of Power, there's not much else blue can have to get rid of to have easy board removal, especially against Rookie Rush. And the green side won't really contribute much, in my opinion.
Now, I'm digging into in my brain. I'm digging into other colors, right? Like, because a lot of the new Rookie Rush decks, they play more than just blue-green, which was last format. Last format was like a blue-green, yellow sort of Rookie Rush type deck. Now we're seeing players put in red cards like the Agumons and such. So I'm trying to dig in other colors and be like, what could he possibly sideboard to get out of this? Something that comes to mind is potentially a Shikakumon.
Okay, yeah.
Which could help with the hard plays of the green cards, because it doesn't seem like Chris is playing any Digi Evolution cards from green. So that being said, you sideboard a Shikakumon, those green cards are now dead. He really has to rely on the blue core in order to, do something. And obviously, as we just saw with John Ramon, it is always possible for you to draw more greens than blues and set yourself back. So John can sideboard Shikakumon, which will mitigate some of those attacks. Um, He can sideboard some of the purple cards, like the Tapirmon, in order to be able to filter to his deck faster. Because they just want to go out there and die anyway. So that's potentially an option for him if he has those cards on the sideboard. Um, Outside of that, again, I'm not sure what you side in this matchup. Like I said, just like we were just saying this, you kind of stay the course, and hope you see your pieces faster than your opponent. But he did go into his sideboard, so we'll see what he has elected to do. Both players have returned to the field to play, and so this is potentially the last game of the day, unless John can force a W and force it to game 3.
Yeah, and so this is potentially going to bring today and the first Battlecore championship to a close.
Yeah, so I wonder if maybe we can get potentially Chris. I'm gonna elect to take whoever comes in first place. I wonder if we'd be able to scoop him up for like a minute or two, just to kind of get his
Yeah.
thoughts on this matchup. And basically, his day. He's played 2 games today. One against against Dave, which he obviously won 2-0, and one that he's about to play against John. So, I like to see if we can try to get him on right, before we close out, just to congratulate him, get some of his thoughts on the day, and then me and you can say our sayonaras, and
Yeah.
I'll get
Good.
you. Once we're done, like I said, you can stay on with me. I'll get you the stuff that you were asking for before I let you route.
Yeah, and back to the game. So, let's say we see Gorillamon come out turn 1, and then Chris is responding in kind with a Auroramon on the front and evolving in the back.
And there it is. He went into the
Dynamon.
Imperial Ultramon build.
Imperial. Yep. That's going to be interesting and definitely new.
Right. Now
New take on this.
This is what I was saying about the potentially the matchup. I think it was like one of these games earlier where I was saying you could potentially go into. I think it was Dave. It might have been Dave where I was saying you can go into the Dino Beamon and get value out. Like if his monsters live, you just punish them for living. Like they don't really get value out of that card because it's going to die to your Dino Beamon and they're still going to take security. So this is a very good switch for John, in my opinion, if he was going to switch, because Chris cannot just throw monsters at him anymore. Because if one of them lives, you don't have value out of that card. We're going to take it away from you. So looks like he swung in and hit a Armadillomon.
Yes, and it's easy jam. And I'm wondering if we're going to see Imperial show up right now.
I think he only has 1 memory, so I think Imperial Ultramon right now would force end his turn. It looks like he's gonna go for the choking aspect. Maybe this isn't Imperial Ultramon. Maybe he just put the Dino Beamons in there to give him some offensive momentum.
You know what? I'll believe that. That makes sense. That's a really good tech. Definitely would run over all the 6K champions that Blue Green does play.
Yeah, because I think Imperial Ultramon is a little slow for this matchup because you have to hard commit to a column to get Imperial Ultramon out, but your opponent's going wide, so you're gonna lose. Like if it's just a suicide bomber strategy, you're gonna lose because they're swinging more than you. So if he stops on Dino Beamon, I don't think that's necessarily a bad play, and it forces his opponent to slow down because his opponent can no longer just slam monsters. He really needs to make sure that he has game on board or as close to game on board as possible. But it looks like he is going to start swinging because he wants this draw from this Upamon.
Yeah, and getting rid of the Agumon on the attack is also beneficial for Chris since at a certain point it's a liability.
Right. It is a liability, especially since, as we saw again in Chris's game with Dave, the longer these blue cards live, the more likely they are to turn into XVmon.
Yes.
So definitely removing that card is a boon.
Yeah.
He's thinking really hard about this next decision. There it is. It's a Mushroomon. So he's gonna put
Okay.
John to 2. And most of these builds don't play blockers, so Chris is still in a very strong position right now, even though
Mhm.
John has the Dino Beamon. There's a Flower
Oh,
Cannon.
but Flower Cannon's gonna enable a Pierce and Jam with Dino B.
I think Chris still has to take the security. I don't think he's yeah, John's pointing it out now.
Yeah. He's good. And Chris is gonna go down to 3.
All right, it looks like John is starting to regain control of the game, because
Yeah.
Chris is going, if John elects to swing with this, I don't think he just played that Pyogramon clone. I'm sorry, that Palmon clone. So if he swings with it and lives, you have to swing on it, or I have
Yeah.
value. So this is one turn where you no longer can attack me with all of your forces. You have to get rid of this monster.
Yeah, and it swung into a lucky Hammer Spark,
Yes.
ending John's turn, going straight to Chris's.
Right, which is going to allow Chris to not have to deal with any more rookies that John may have been opting to play, because he could have went a little bit wider and secured game, definitely.
Yeah, and evoing into Gorillamon, that can actually kill the Auroramon. But it does leave himself wide open for Dino B to pierce it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And he's just gonna start trying to swing
Oh,
full
if
on
Art
with
lived.
Mushroomons.
Can we get rid of one? No, we can't. Okay, so he got complete value out of those Mushroomons. Dino Beamon is obviously, in my opinion, going to elect to swing into the Gorillamon to potentially stop any more Upamon draws that could secure his opponent games.
The question is, what does Chris have that he's holding very tightly? And it's an Armadillo. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I'm John, I'm thinking move up Gomon, Digivolve Gorillamon, and just pierce and eat one of the other mushrooms, so that way I can survive another turn.
Yeah. The only problem is that John's at 1 security left, so he has 2 attackers.
Wow, it's a Hammer Spark.
And, oh my god!
Wow.
The second Hammer Spark, that's gonna
I think that just secured the game, right? Unless his opponent gets a Flower Cannon.
And Chris is having no variables. He's playing that Hammer Spark to make sure that if John does get a Hammer Spark, it's not going to be the end of this game.
Yeah, I think the only thing that saves
Chris
John
now
right now is Flower Cannon. There it is! It's the Flower Cannon. Okay, so...
Oh, wait. But does Chris have it?
The
signature card?
That has saved him in so many games today.
Or we'll be going to game... No, okay. Oh my god, he plays Greymon! He plays a blocker!
Alright, so John, I think John can still do this. If he plays a Flower Cannon right now, and rests the Gorillamon, then he can swing for game. His hand is pretty big, so he potentially has this. Looks like he's gonna swing first. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You really gotta think about this.
Alright, he's committing.
I think he wants to draw because he's looking for Flower Cannon.
Yes. Chris
Did you get it? Did you get it? That is how you get out of this right now. If you Flower Cannon, you force game 3. I don't know if he has it because he's thinking really hard.
Card shuffling. That's a lot of card shuffling.
I don't think he has it. If you know what your win condition is and you got it, you do it. So if he's thinking, he potentially does not have this Flower Cannon and he's trying to think of a different way out of this.
See, at this point, this is where the Imperial Dramon comes into play. You can do it if you have your Imperial.
No, but even if you played the Imperial Dramon, his opponent was still. I think Imperial Dramon plays for 3. You reduce cost by 2, so he would enter
a Hammer Spark.
Right. Yeah. But you know what? He potentially has the Hammer Spark. His hand is massive.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, do not see any insecurity at all.
Right. The Hammer Spark just isn't going to save him from dying next turn. So, but it would set up an Imperial Dramon play, which can force a game 3. So you are right. That is an option. But it looks like he's going to swing, and if he swings, I think that spells game.
Yeah, there's no way Chris is not going to block the lethal hit.
Right. This is why we're here, guys. This is why we stream this. This is why we have the commentators, so you can hear us geek out about crucial moments like this one. He's thinking, is this for dramatic effect? I don't think it is. All right, so that's basically going to close out.
I don't know. Maybe he's fishing. Maybe he got it. Maybe he's fishing more for the Hammer Spark Imperial play. Chris is on the edge of his seat.
The sad part is, if he didn't get it in these cards, I don't think he's capable of getting it, because Digivolving at any point beyond here puts you out of Imperial Ultramon range.
Yeah.
I think he's fishing for Puppetmon right now. I think that's what he's looking for. Is maybe can I Puppetmon my way out of this turn?
Even then, it's still a no, because Chris has that Agumon sitting in the back row.
Right. You are absolutely right.
So I think John needs to seal the deal. Otherwise,
what is that?
Yeah. Okay, Positron Laser works. It'll bounce something and then stun the other two from attacking.
But the Goblmon's still back. No. Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
So he's
the concession.
There's the Imperial.
Oh man.
Yeah, because we're watching that okay, because when you brought the Positron, I'm like, yeah, Positron, but wouldn't he still have the Goblin in the back?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was the I guess this is the option, but not the winning option.
How much of a play cost is Positron's laser? I cannot remember.
6.
It's 6. Okay, 6. Yeah. So there's definitely. So I don't think John has anything in his deck that was going to allow him to get rid of that blocker and still swing.
Mm-hmm.
Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna unmute the players so that we can
Thank you. You too,
Chris,
Charizard.
This is Lychee. I don't know if you have me unmuted now.
Do we stay on or something, or is it?
And the second place do get a trophy.
Do you have to disconnect? Do you know?
And a mat.
Okay, so
don't forget about the mat.
John, have them. John, have them.
Congratulations! I hope you all have enjoyed the rest of your weekend.
All right, man. Take it easy. Everybody enjoy.
Have them on mute. Okay.
I can't hear anyone.
Could you guys unmute the commentators real fast?
Oh no, I'm not. Yeah.
Oh dang! I couldn't get that.
Chris, can you hear us? What's going on, man? So to start, congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you.
So you definitely earned that W, man. We was watching on the edge of our seat.
Yeah, I'm like, my opponent had so many outs: Flower Cannon, Hammer Spark Imperial.
Yes, we spoke about all of those outs too. We're like, his opponent can easily Hammer Spark Imperial his way out of this. He could Flower Cannon his way out of this. He could potentially. Puppetmon wasn't going to save him because you had the Goblin in the raising area. But I was not expecting the Grizzlymon from you. Just so you know that. Because I said it on stream. I was like, blue green doesn't play blockers. They basically just go full bacon on offense. So, you threw me for a loop.
Yeah, I actually. The funny thing is, I thought I knew that it was very likely for me to play him, and I'm thinking what possible cards are good against him. He's playing Rookie Rush, right? So I'm thinking, I think block is okay, right? So it was pretty good.
Well, Chris, I'm gonna say it one more time. Congratulations, man.
Yep.
So you will be. I don't know if you were watching the stream. Were you watching the stream for the opening ceremonies?
Nah.
Okay, so you did not see the mat.
Oh yeah, I saw the mat. No, I saw the mat.
Okay, so you saw the Omnimon mat that we're gonna give the top 4.
Yeah, I'm actually excited for the mat because I actually don't have a map with a memory counter on it. I don't have a single map with a memory counter on it.
You should. Cause wait.
No. I'll tell you why. I don't have it because I actually when I topped the qualifier thing, I actually told Mustang, I was like, you know what, I don't need a mat. I got all these Dragon Ball mats, right? I like Dragon Ball better, and I was just like, you know what, you guys should just keep the mat, save on shipping, save on mat, and give it to someone that really wants it, right? Okay. And so that's why I don't have one. But now
you were regretting that choice when you realized you didn't have memory counters on any of your mats.
yeah. I was like, so as you can see, I didn't even have a memory counter. I didn't even play a memory counter the whole tournament as well. I just use my opponent's memory counter. Yeah. So, any questions or?
Josh, you there?
Yes, I am here. I apologize. Like I said, the head judge is here with me, so I just needed to wrap up something with him real quick so he can kind of close down everything in the other room because we have 2 rooms set up in order to
Got
make
it.
sure that everything was happening. So I told you we're coming live from Gamer 7, so he was speaking with the store owner just now in regards to everything ending so that she knows that this room will be freed up soon. And because my name was on the room, I just need to kind of resolve that real quick. If Chris stays around for a second, John is going to join us for a second, kind of
Alright.
give you his congratulations and his thoughts. But yeah, so I got some questions for you.
Yeah,
The matchup against Dave.
yeah.
Talk to me about this because I'm watching this game like, okay, Green has a really good matchup against this deck because their Digivolves are cheap costs. So even if, Chris kind of restricts memory on him, he should still be able to make, really, really good plays. And then just now, we thought you had your boy who saved you twice today, 3 times today, ex-Vmon.
Yo, yeah.
What were your thoughts first? Let's kind of walk me through it. What are your thoughts going into the Green matchup? Before this last game when you were playing Dave.
All right. So
Sarasota
let
Club?
me
Because
explain. So
you played him in week
yeah,
3 and beat him.
yeah. So let me explain. So previously I was playing Imperial, right? And I heard what you said on stream. Like I was playing Imperial and I slid into Rookie Rush, or vice versa, right? Actually,
Right.
no, I was just playing straight Imperial, right? And I'm playing straight Rookie Rush, no side into Imperial or anything like that. And the reason why I played Imperial in this tournament is because of sideboard, right? Everyone's gonna counter Rookie Rush. Rookie Rush is not good, right? Even if you can like sort of transform it, right? Like I still don't think it's good. So I was playing Imperial against Green, and but I don't think that's actually a good matchup. I was like, yo, Green should probably like destroy Imperial, right? It's not a good matchup. So I kind of did want to play Imperial today, but looking at all like my opponents, they're playing yellow and blue and green, right? So like Imperial's probably not good against any of those. That it's not good against Green. It's probably not good against Rookie Rush, and Rookie Rush is probably better against yellow than Imperial. So that's what. So I was like, you know what, we got to make the switch. We can't lose the Green, right? So we make the switch to because
We can't lose
I
the
think Rookie
Green.
Rush has a better matchup against Green than Imperial. Like I think Green like beats Imperial like majority of the time. Yeah, so that's what we played. Yeah.
What's going on, guys? So for the guys on the stream, not to interrupt Chris, for the guys on the stream, this is John. He was the head judge for today. John, go ahead and say hello.
Hello guys, how you doing? This is the first time you've ever seen my face on stream. Possibly the first time for many of the players out there as well. I want to go ahead and congratulate the winner, Chris. Congratulations on being our first ever Tamer Series tournament winner.
Yeah, thank you, John. Thank you very much. Thanks to Battlecore for hosting.
Yeah, so Chris is telling us, unfortunately, only got the one headset,
Oh,
and
I
the
can
speaker
hear.
joints don't work properly for the computer that he gave us. But he's telling us about going into the Dave match with Dave. He said that he's not playing the Imperial Mon deck. He's playing the qualifiers. He's playing like pure blue green for the sole purpose of Dave's matchup,
Yeah.
not lose against green.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Even though I think Imperial is like worse than like it's a bad matchup against Green, right? So Rookie Rush is probably a good matchup, but when sideboard comes along, right? I'm thinking my opponent has like he's gonna sign in like 8 blockers. He's gonna sign in some Volcanics or some Rosemons possibly, right? And, like there's so many things he could sideboard, and this is gonna be like a nightmare for me. and like there's no point in like transforming my deck back into Imperial because like we already have a bad matchup. Like we're gonna, there's no point, right? So you know what we're gonna do? We decided to try to counter his sideboard cards, and I don't know if you were watching, but in game 2, I was like, my hand, I didn't draw a blue rookie.
I saw all of the games, bro, and I commented on that.
Yeah.
So
what happened was I actually had there was a card that I didn't show, right? I actually had 3 Skull Greymon in my hand on my first turn.
Oh.
It was because I was expecting him to play 8 blockers on me, and I'm like, yo, I gotta do something about that, you know?
So it was funny because when you were shuffling, one of your cards kind of slid, and I saw
it
it was
Skull
red.
Greymon, yeah.
But
noticed.
I thought you were playing like a pure Rookie Rush deck, so like I was like, oh, that's probably just like 2-drop Agumon or something.
Nah, yeah, it was Skull Greymon, man. That card was actually pretty useless. I mean, it was.
Yeah, as you were signing in, telling me how you were signing in, I was like, That's a good plan. If only he actually ran blockers and shit.
Yeah. So I actually outplayed myself a little bit.
Look, I thank you for doing for VMon what you did for VMon in this event, man.
Excuse me, he had the third one
Look,
for that first game.
everyone who knows me knows I love Agumon. That's like my favorite Digimon, and everything that comes from Agumon. And then like my next favorite, right next to it, is Vmon, and Flamedramon is my boy. So thank you for doing what you did for Vmon today, because that was like the MVP of like your tournament today. It was like ex
Yeah, dude,
Vmon
I
coming
mean,
in and securing
Vmon,
games.
yeah, Vmon, most broken rookie. X Vmon even more broken. You know, like man, that card might should get banned or something. X Vmon,
So
so
my
broken. Yeah.
Andrew, unless you got any questions, Chris, I got one more question for you, man.
Yeah.
How about going into the mirror against John? Because John is a very good player from Gyro Sean's channel, and also Max Taper's joint. So I've seen him play in some HG Games tournaments that I've participated in. He frequently does well. And you walked, like I know you said you potentially anticipated like having to walk into a mirror match in the last game, but what were your thoughts kind of going into that mirror match? Like, what game plan did you have set for
All
walking
right,
into
so
that game? Because I was in more of a, okay, they're both playing blue green, so it's basically whoever blue green's faster. But like, did you actually have like a solidified game plan going into the mirror match?
okay, so I think I actually play like the most. I believe I play all the 2 drops in blue and all the 2 drops in green, right? Like, yeah. So speed is like usually a key, right? You like power isn't great. Power's okay when you want to like try to control your opponent, right? But like unless it's cheap, like it's not like I didn't even think Penguinmon was that good. I mean, yeah. So I didn't really have a game plan. I was just like, you know what? Like, what the hell is actually good against this deck? You know, what's really good against it? And he's probably gonna sideboard too. Also, the funny thing was, when I was sideboarding, right? I told the judge, hey, can we like wait a minute because I want to try to throw off my opponent a little bit to maybe think I'm sliding into like Imperial or something, right? Let's wait a minute. I actually like sided only like 3 cards. I did it
I
like
was about to
pretty
say,
quickly.
look, when you
Yeah,
go into when you know we do have a hard rule that if you elect to sideboard, you have to sideboard
yeah,
at least one card. Like we're not
yeah,
bluffing our
yeah. I
opponents.
did
So
sideboard. I did sideboard. Yeah,
when you said that, I was like, there's no way John let him get away with not sideboarding. And then he was like, I sideboarded 3 cards, and he was like, and I thought that I said that to Andrew on stream. I was like, he's taking a moment in his sideboard. He might be going into Blue Imperial, but like there wouldn't be a reason to. He won the first game. I said this in all the games where players won the first game and then elected the sideboard. I'm like, you won the first game. You really don't have to do anything drastic. You won. Like your opponent is forced to respond to what you did or lose. So
yeah,
when you went to your sideboard, I was like, he could be going to Blue Imperial, but why? Because he's ahead. His opponent has to respond to losing or continue to lose. You don't really have to adjust your game plan at all. And he did sideboard some pretty useful stuff. I feel like that Dino Beamon came right out of his sideboard.
That it
yeah.
did.
You can confirm that, John.
That
Did
it
you hear it?
did.
Yes. So, because we were like, he can go into Blue Imperial, and then when he saw the Dino Beamon, I was like, maybe he didn't go Blue Imperial. Maybe he stopped on Dino Beamon just to give him like himself some offensive momentum and to kind of remove your cards that you got hella value out of all day. Like your stuff was just swinging and surviving.
Yeah. When I saw it, I was like, "Damn, Dino Beamon's actually pretty good in the mirror." Like, you know,
Yeah.
I thought sliding in Imperial was gonna be like, it's gonna be trash, right? But you know, it actually was really good, and it actually forced me to stop attacking. Like, I was like, man, there's no point in attacking because my attack, like, my guys are even if I survive the security, like, my stuff are gonna die anyway to his attacks. He's still gonna take a life off me. It's not looking good. So you know, I was just like holding back for that turn where I could attack with multiple guys, so multiple of them survive. So you can't really like get rid of all of them. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because
That-
of that piercing, jamming, everything.
That was-
That Dino
Yeah.
Beamon
That was a
has.
good idea, man.
Yeah.
I thought John came back and was about to take a game from you, man. I definitely thought.
Yeah,
John
yeah.
was great.
I was actually like, I got really lucky, right? Like double hammer spark, you know, like the first game I drew 3 Auroromon, like that's like the best card to draw, and and I was also when he hit the flower cannon and the security, I was like, oh man, right? Like I probably could have evolved into Grizzlymon at the end of the game, but then if I did, like I could attack in the hammer spark, and then it would have still like ended. It would have still been bad for me. and and I was just like, damn, man, like. Like I could have won the game if I decided to evolve into Grizzly and attack, and so his Flower Cannon can't shut down my last stack. But I was just like, yo, that's not the right move, because Hammer Spark, right? There's people play more Hammer Sparks than Flower Cannons,
I
and
definitely thought you.
yeah,
I
so I
thought you
thought he
beat him that
stole the
turn.
game for a second. Yeah, sorry.
I thought you had him. No, you're good. I thought you had him that turn, and I was like, only one thing to save him is going to have to be Flower Cannon, and then it was Flower Cannon, and then on his side, I was like, okay, he can win the game. He got the Dino Beamon, and then you dropped the blocker. I'm like, dang, we play blockers in blue green. So
No,
Yeah.
I heard you get excited when you flipped that flower cannon. I heard it all the way across the room.
Yo, it was such a good like. Chris obviously got more value because like his monsters weren't dying. He double hammer sparked. So like the
Okay,
only thing that
Chris's-
could go
security.
good. Come on, let's be for real. The only thing that could go good for him in that moment to secure a win was the flower cannon, and it happened.
Yep. Because Chris's security was crazy. It loved him. Every attack, Hammer Spark. Every attack killed something.
Yeah.
Andrew, do you got anything you want to say to Chris? Before I know you wanted your New York Bowl to win, so he did defeat all the Philadelphians.
Yes.
There's one from New York side. Chris, did you have River Power in your side deck? I gotta know.
No, but when you mentioned it, and when you mentioned it on the stream, I was like, damn it, I should have played that,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, I just want to say, this tournament, I got really extremely lucky to win most of my games, Every one of my opponents was good,
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, Chris. I was hyping Dave up in the stream because I was like,
Oh, you definitely.
yes, because I was like, this is the mirror match from week 3. Like he lost in week 3 and he gets the revenge game on the biggest stage, and I was hyping that game up hard because like I love seeing games where it's like in tournament you get the opportunity to get revenge against the person who beat you.
Yep.
So like,
Yeah.
I was hyping your game up, Chris. I was like, Andrew's on Team New York, I'm on Team Philadelphia, and Dave's getting the rematch of the century against Chris, who he lost to. And then, of course, you just completely go in and left him no opportunity to redeem himself.
Yeah. We tried.
So, again, Andrew, unless you got something you want to say to Chris, I thank you for hopping on with us, Chris. Andrew, I'll give you one more opportunity if you got anything you want to say to Chris or anything you want to let the audience know before we dip.
Chris, I'll see you at locals, I guess.
Are you going today? All right. See you at locals, man.
I'll see you at locals. All right, Chris.
Wait, are you really going today? You got to see the
No,
stage
I'm not
today.
going today. I'm not going today. I gotta
All right.
I'll be back next week.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Well, again, we have Chris as the first ever Digi Tamer Series champion. Congratulations to you. Andrew from
Yep.
Replay Works joining us from home. I'm Josh with
you.
Battlecore. This is John, who's the head judge with Battlecore. And we're all
Oh,
signed
can I
out.
give a shout out? Can I give a
Look,
shout out?
You won. You could do whatever you want.
All right, yo, you know what? This guy didn't really help me, in this tournament, but we're gonna shout him out anyway. Yo, shout out to Chris Lang, my boy, and
Chris Lang.
yeah, as soon as I won, he's like, yo, dude, you better give me a shout out.
Look, and you're gonna say it on the live. Look, Chris Lang, if you're watching the live stream, he did it because we was definitely on the way out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and look, and it's unfortunate because like for a while I actually thought Chris Lang was coming into the finals, and then like he played 2 really strong opponents, and I was like, oh, that kind of hurts. And then like one of his matches I believe was against Max Tapera as well, so like
Yep.
he had a hard climb trying to get up here, and you had a hard climb too. Everyone had a hard climb, but like it's tough when you got to fight all the biggest names in order to make it to the finals. So like I think your route up here was like probably like as far as like popularity of the people you played, I think you played like most of the big names. So
Yeah. Got lucky.
Dave played some of the big names too because he had the double shine Greymon. He played against you. He played against Tyler, who I actually expected would. He beat me in round 1 of the series with his Blue Imperial Agumon deck. So, again, shout out to everyone for joining us. I thank all 16 of you who played through the playoffs. Thank you to the top 4 who actually showed up today and played. Chris, I think you're the only one. You and John Ramon are probably the only people I'm gonna have a hard time getting the mats to, because obviously Dave and Ryan live in my city, so
We'll find a way.
we're saving shipping on those guys. So please take your mat this time. We have the money for shipping to send you your mat.
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely gonna take the mat.
But thank you again, everyone, for joining us. We will try this one more time. We got Chris, the Digi Tamer Series champion, Andrew from Replay Works. I'm Josh from Battlecore, and John, our head judge for the series. And we're all signing out from Gamers Heaven and our respective houses. Y'all have a nice day.
Make sure to like,
All right,
comment,
man.
subscribe.
Take care.
All
Take it
these
easy.
really great digitubers. I'll go out and say it. We're all digitubers now. So like, comment, subscribe. We got people in the description that we want to shout out, so just click on the link. Thank you very much.
All right, guys. I'll catch up with y'all. Andrew, you can stick around for a moment after, and I'll rap with you about what I need to talk to you about.
Sounds good.
All right.